is not here yet. Sour Power is here. Trim is not here yet, but I know he will be eventually. I got Slippy. I don't see Jimmy. Alright, Toby said he's not coming either.
Excellent.
How's it going, gentlemen?
Oh, I just messaged you. Disregard that.
Just got in here. Is there a practice thing that's going on right now, or did I miss it?
Max said they're in one. I think he's muted right now, but I think it was DDC practice, all lowercase, all one word.
Alright, and are they running the real track?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good, because I haven't had a good chance to practice, so.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Have fun with the triangle thing.
Yeah.
Join session.
Okay,
Remember,
this is
split
one of
ends.
those tracks that you had to kind of practice before, but you'll get the hang of it.
Well, we're about to find out then, aren't we?
Remember, split S, spiral, 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 spiral.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lord.
He gets
Just
it.
remember that, you'll be fine.
And you
That's
probably
the
want
only way I
to
can
use
get
the mic
through
while you try it the first time.
If my radio would connect, that'd
If
be
you hit the
great.
second purple ribbon, it puts you on the roof and you can't get back in.
The second purple ribbon.
That would
Oh,
hang
the
from
flag?
ceiling.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I'm just following this one guy. It's Lost Slaloms, I would think.
You can get on the roof.
I don't know what this big thing in the middle is.
You'll find out. Split S, spiral, split
What
S,
is this
spiral,
triangle
spiral,
thing?
spiral,
Oh my
spiral,
word.
spiral.
Oh my word.
It's not as
We
hard
have-
as you think it is.
Yeah,
It
once
is.
you get the flow of it.
It is.
It's just as hard as you think it is.
It
I'm
looks
having nightmares about this.
intimidating. Like, I'm scared.
I looked at it and I had to draw a map of it.
That's what I kind of did.
I was hoping that the little barriers with the notes on it would be enough.
Oh, so Steven's
somehow made it
responsible
more
for
One of those
these,
little
like,
things
horror.
that, the little flags that I keep seeing on the start. I haven't actually looked at them yet, but
What? No.
like, what are the things with writing on them?
Oh, by the little by the triangle
I
spiral thing.
always see it in the corner of my screen during the start.
Yeah, they're in front of the triangle spiral. They tell you what you're supposed to do there. When you go through it, you're facing what you're supposed to do.
I just tried to look at them while I was going through it. And I kind of just.
What are you talking about? I'm gonna check this out.
There's some
like signs right behind the triangle.
yeah, there's some little black and yellow squares hanging out by the triangle thing, and there's some dots on them that have
Oh my god!
little guide things.
What the?
I
didn't
kind
even
of
think
understand
that.
maybe about
That's absolutely no help though.
Yeah, okay.
40% of this track.
I mean, it is if you like pay attention to it. At the same time, I don't want to be reading while I'm flying.
Right.
That's clever though.
Yeah. Did you put each one of those dots on there?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Could the leader of the session after this race throw me in one so I can figure out the track?
What does the purple one say?
Split
or
S.
shit?
Sp-
Because it
I
just
honestly
says
thought that's what
S,
that
and
was
then there's
too.
a line, and then it says IT, and there's a dot under it.
Yeah.
I think they let
Huh.
it in weirdly for me.
Okay.
Because they were working earlier,
Alright, so who else am I missing here? I need Fritz, Trim. Toby's not coming.
Oh, he's not coming?
No,
Why not?
he's got a paper due.
Ah, that's gay.
Fritz, Trim, Ride, and Jimmy are the ones I'm missing then.
Jimmy was in the game a minute ago.
Who's in the
I think it
game
still
now?
is.
Who's in the
Okay,
game
so
as well?
he's just not in the Discord yet.
No, I think he actually left the game. Let me see. Yeah, he did. He left. Oh wait, no, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Would you mind typing in chat and letting him know he got
Yeah,
bumped from the Discord?
alright.
I think Trim's in Discord. Is he not?
I don't see
Yeah.
Jimmy in here.
He's not
He's
in. He's
in
not
there.
in the server. He's online, and I think he's in the practice room. He says he's in the DDC practice.
Where are you, Trip? Oh, whoa. Put me in this one. What? It's the owner of the practice room.
Ma-
Whoa.
Max, are you in charge of the practice room?
I am. Okuru.
Okuru.
Okuru, on the next one, throw me in. I don't know the
I don't know
track
how
yet.
you throw you in.
Here, I'll
On
go-
the right side of the screen, there's a little icon with some people on it. Click that one, and it'll bring up a menu on the left side of the screen. You'll have to uncheck Auto Enable Pilots, and then you can click where it says Flying or Spectating to change whether someone is flying or spectating. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and host a lobby though. Get that started.
You can host like an official practice lobby or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody who
Alright.
feels like staying in that one because you're already flying, that's fine. I'm just gonna host another one so that everybody can fly at the same time.
Alright, yeah, I'm gonna join that one, Steven.
Okay. My best time on this track is 1769 because it was published at one point on accident before it was actually finished being made.
70.
3 gates or something?
I forget. I think it was before I put in the ladder thing.
Yeah.
What's the name of yours, Steven?
Just DDC. All
Alright.
lowercase.
So like the word just?
No, just.
Okay. Okay.
Nice.
God damn it, Cameron.
You gotta be specific.
I guess.
Or did you mean DDC all lowercase? All lowercase.
ALL.
Like, the initials spelled out,
LOW.
so drone, Denver drone. Go. Drone Denver go.
The D's reversed.
Akuru's gonna give me a run for my money again.
Cameron, do you want me to try and teach you the ladder?
I mean, we're in a group of
Hey, this is Okuru. I'll look for Dr. Ride here. Max, I'm gonna. Oh, you're already moved out.
Cameron, do you want me to try and teach it to you?
I mean, I just need Steven to start the track because I'm in the lobby.
What is it again? DDC?
There you go. Appreciate it.
What's the name of the server? Thank you.
I hate that, how the game jumps every time someone joins.
But you gotta be really precise on that ramp there, or else it won't count you.
Which ramp? The spiral one?
The green one, yeah.
I made that very forgiving. if you have a chance to go into the track editor for this and look at the invisible gates, they're very wide.
Okay, cool.
I noticed that when I was flying.
Not so, but I only made it wide. I only made it super wide out, so you can't
Yeah,
cut
that's not-
in. You can't cut in to cheat it, but if you go a little too wide over it, it'll still count you.
Brody shush.
Aw.
Sorry, yelling at my dog.
You're good.
I messaged Joe here, but he's not green in Facebook chat, so.
Okay. I mean, yeah, he can join whenever. It's no problem. So.
Oh, dude, this triangle thing's gonna be the death of me, man.
It's,
It's.
I have nightmares about it, I swear.
I thought everyone was being like the baby about the track, and I'm like, I haven't even seen it. And I was like,
How'd
oh
you
wait,
come up with
now I
that?
know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm stuck outside. The
Just crash and you'll reset.
How
Or
did
if you have a reset switch on your radio, you can do that.
Or you can go back under the windows sill if you really want to.
Whoever asked how I came up with that, that's half of a TIE fighter wing. The bottom part of it, like the bottom 3 triangles, are half of an attempted TIE fighter wing design.
Boy.
And then I just copy pasted and rotated.
I see.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Oh, bro, what?
So you're gonna try and make a TIE fighter and then it didn't work or something?
I just realized that I wanted a floor to ceiling structure of these once I got halfway through.
I still don't fully know what to do on the spiral thing, but I got the rest of the course down now.
The ladder?
So,
If you could call that a ladder.
yeah, right?
So it's through the top one, and then split S, and then you rotate around, you orbit the entire thing, go back through the next triangle,
Okay.
and then it's like a sideways split S, I guess you could say, just like 2 gates next to each other, and then rotating the rest of the way down. If that makes any sense.
how do you increase the max angle and angle?
You have to go
Advanced
into
quad
the
settings.
Advanced quad settings, and it's like the third.
Max angle. It'll say max angle.
But you also have to up the limit. I like keeping them, or the strength and the limit. I like keeping them like 5 apart.
Sour Power, you mind if I get Trim in here so that he can fly? I don't
so-
think he's had a chance to try it yet.
What was that?
Do you mind if I switch you out for Trim so he gets a chance to run the track? I don't think he's run
Oh,
it
you can
yet.
switch me out. You can switch
I
me
can
out.
Oh
switch Max
yeah,
out.
yeah, not a problem. Cause I can do spectate and I know it. So
Okay. Thank you, sir.
anytime.
And then I'll swap Max out for Okuru and give Max a handicap.
You can pull me out of here. I flew it for about an hour here, so.
Okay. I was just
Anybody
messing
else-
around with
anyone
Max.
else to
anyway.
fly?
Does anybody feel like they need some more time on it that isn't flying yet?
I need a little bit,
Who is?
maybe a run or two.
Trim? Oh yeah, no, I got you in here. I just wanted to make sure that everybody's flying that needs it right now, because only 7 people can fly at a time.
Hey, Steven, you can take Slippy out anytime.
Okay. I'm not hearing anybody say that they need any stick time, so
I mean, I'm already in here, so.
yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
that's
I
what I'm
still need-
saying. I'm saying of the
Okay.
people that aren't flying right now.
Okay.
It's just DDC.
There's no way to see the course.
Who said?
There's no way to see the course or anything.
Oh shoot. Yeah, I'll start a race again. Sorry, I forgot that I have to do that. Then it doesn't do it. The gates automatically. I'm not flying, right? Okay,
I
good.
don't know. Are you?
I am not. And neither is Max.
What did I do?
You're not flying right now, even though you're able to.
Oh yeah.
I was just letting you know in case you knew or didn't realize that I had bumped you back.
Of course, Peep is in here right now. Is he in the Discord?
I don't see a bit of Discord now.
Wait, my my gates are working,
Yeah, I started a race.
but I thought you said it.
Wait.
I'm confused.
Why?
Wasn't I in spectator mode? Was I not?
No,
Oh, okay.
I did it as a joke.
LMAO.
All right, so I think we might push on ahead. Well, I'll give it until I get back from getting water to hear from Dr. Ride.
Yes,
Time for you, baby.
Okay, in the next one. This crash.
Yep.
I'm still getting reminders for Tuesday night at the Wild Game.
From like last year or something.
RIP.
2 years ago, whenever that was.
Yeah, that was last winter.
Yeah. Dude, that was a really good venue.
It was for us.
Yeah. Especially for me, because I was literally 2 minutes away from the place.
Yeah, you could have walked there after work.
Exactly. When I worked at Dairy Queen, bro. Oh my word.
All
Well,
right.
they destroyed that place for this last year, but they're wanting money these years.
Cameron, have you figured
Oh
out
wait,
the,
I'm sorry guys, 1 second. Max, I'm gonna make you race manager real quick.
Okay, cool.
You can just keep running them until I get back. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay.
I've almost figured out the triangle.
Yeah, once you get in the flow of it, it's a lot better than it looks.
Alright, I'm warm. Someone else can go.
Someone else is in there. Wait, who said that?
Crash.
Anyone in specific want to go in? I'll just keep doing it if no one responds, but because I think everyone else is in but not flying. Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna keep doing this one, I guess. Is anyone sim a little bit weird right now?
Yeah.
No. Mine's just a little like choppy, I don't know why.
Yeah, my happy.
Here, wait, does someone know how to be race manager? Because I'm gonna go and change my settings a bit just to see how it's lag. No one?
I can go next.
Okay, cool. Where are you? No, I just I switched the manager. I didn't know that it ended. My bad.
Sorry, I was muted. Joe, Ride's not going to make it tonight.
My God. Intense focus initiated.
Yeah, that was it. So what happened was I turned off high quality trees because if you notice outside the gym there's a ton of trees. so I turned it off, and that helped with the lag.
Mine, I don't have high quality trees on mine. So
You have to back out into the actual settings of the game. Like you have to go to the main menu, and then if you go into it,
yeah. Let me do that.
so if you just back out and then go to settings and screen settings, it's like a couple down, and I just turned off. There's like birds and butterflies and like high quality water, high quality trees. I just turned all of that off.
What did you have your frame rate?
I have my minimum at like 145. I'm pretty sure.
You're gonna fly without birds and butterflies.
I know. I'm sorry. I didn't want to hurt them.
Yeah, food and water, but come on.
I'm allergic.
Butterflies.
3, 2, 1.
So where it says graphics rendering, do you know anything about that?
About what?
Graphics rendering?
I have no idea what it is.
And then it's after like screen resolution.
Here, I'll back out to help you really quick. Let me just see. Okay, so you said, wait, so what were you saying?
It was like graphics rendering type.
I have mine as Ford.
And VSync.
VSync false. Yeah, I'll just give you my
It
settings.
depends on what system you have.
Yeah.
VSync.
Hello, everybody. I am Steven D'Agostino, 43D3D3 with Denver Drone Company. Welcome to the third race in the Indoor Simulator Racing Series, presented by Denver Drone Company and sponsored by the other guys, Remote Control Hobbies, Smoky Hill, and CBD Janes. We are using Velocidrone as our simulator. Sorry, I was listening to the PID tuning advice that they were giving us. Tonight's race is going to be another round-robin format. People are adjusting their settings right now, waiting for one more pilot, and then we're going to get started. I will remember to turn the desktop audio back on so you can hear the pilots all night tonight. Thank you again to the sponsors for tonight's event. Before we get started, it is the other guys, Colorado Drone Racing, CBD Janes, and Remote Controls Hobbies, Smoky Hill. Check out the other guys, Colorado Drone Racing on Facebook, Remote Control Hobbies in Smoky Hill, and CBD Janes also on Facebook. If you're interested in competing in one of our drone racing simulation series, feel free to hit up Remote Control Hobby Smoky Hill to get a controller so that you can join in on the fun.
Yeah,
cheap
there's G-Sync monitors, and then there's
Well, V-Sync is across AMD and Intel. FreeSync and G-Sync is the brand specific.
for the monitors.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I have FreeSync on my BenQ. My
That's the
bank.
pro.
Hell yeah, dude.
Has anybody ran it in 4K on a 4K monitor?
Yes.
It's pretty cool, but I definitely
really
just run it in HD to get a little better speed out of it.
Yeah, because from what I've read, the physics in a lot of these drone sims are done per frame. So the higher frame, the better flight feeling.
Yeah, I have my
Really?
Fraps frame counter going right now, and
Fraps!
yeah,
God, I haven't used Fraps in forever.
it's the only one I got right now. If you have a better one out there, let me know. But
There's
I'm
one
getting
built into
around.
the game.
What?
There's one built in the game, F12.
Oh, really?
F12?
Oh yeah, if you just want a frame counter.
Oh no way!
Oh, no way.
Minimum
Thanks,
frame
Skippy.
rate of 325, max frame rate of 358.
Somebody call me?
So-
Nope. Okay.
I don't know, do you want me to? Sir Dr. Broclaw, Esquire.
Yes, hello? Oh, I need to change my maximum frame rate as well. But we just got Quan's in here. Fritz is on his way. He is not up first, so if you'd like, we can go ahead and get started. Does everybody have all their graphics settings adjusted and everything?
No, I just fixed mine. I'm about to hop back in.
Okay.
Is there a way to put me at the end so I can kind of watch something?
Yeah, you can hit space. Okie doke. Do you guys render your birds and butterflies?
Do you use
Hey,
real?
Paul,
I
or
really
fake
find that
bird?
it helps with my flying.
I
Bee sting my dog.
I'm allergic.
I think it's just sounds anyway.
Yeah.
Now, if
See,
the
if I
birds
wanna do any-
attacked you like the real ones, that might be a cool feature.
I've never had that
See-
happen. But
Bumper left. Bumper no.
If I wanted to do ray tracing of any kind right now, I need to swap out my graphics card right now. I have a 1070 Founders card.
Bumper's back.
I'd have to get like a 2060 RTX card.
No, 27, or they put ray tracing on 1070s.
The GTX cards?
Yeah.
Really?
It's not as good because it doesn't have the
Well, there
cores
you go.
specifically for it, but
Exactly.
you can do it.
Yeah, I got a 1060. I'm kind of SOL.
5, 4, 3, 2.
All right. Well, Fritz, hurry up. All right, we'll get started without Fritz, and then we'll catch him back up when he comes in.
Hey Max, what happened to your whole? Yeah, you guys are all 20 seconds faster than me.
oh well, I realized that I had mine in minutes, and so for some reason I wasn't acknowledging that there was a semicolon there, and I thought it said 130 seconds. So I was like really confused because I was pushing it too.
I see.
Steven, Slippy here. How much time do I have before the first heat for me?
You've got about 5 minutes.
Okay, I'll be right back then.
Okay.
Is he in the first seat?
Wait, Fritz, you're already. No, Fritz, you're already in.
What are people drinking on tonight?
Some good old Dr. Pepper, you know.
Diet Coke.
There he is.
Diet.
It's the only thing I have.
It's like this quarantine, it's really getting to me, man.
Either that or yerba mate, and I don't want caffeine right now. Too much caffeine.
It's Matatine, and it's good for you.
Yeah, I've got that yerba stuff. It's not bad.
Oh wait, no, it's not.
I mean, it's not real
What?
mate,
Hello?
but it's good.
Talking about the ones in like the kind of green cans.
Yeah,
Do 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 do.
They sell those at my work for like $4 a can.
yeah, they're expensive.
Hey,
I'm
man, you
like,
can't
what?
pay
But
for
Monster's
chemicals.
only $3.50.
I drank that stuff day in and day out for a year and a half in South America, and Are we live streaming yet?
Wait, Monster or Yerba?
Yerba.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Tell me.
Dangerous truckers.
It was something like that.
It was
Sour Power had to reboot the sim.
Okay.
It was Paraguayan soldiers making it, so I figured I'd do as they do.
Well,
All right.
I'm half arrogant bastard.
So we have Sour Power joining back in right now. You said.
Yep.
Okay.
I had to reboot the whole sim because it froze up after this update. I've been having nothing but problems.
Shoot. Okay. You're in the first heat. I'm gonna go ahead and get everybody else in here as well. Take everybody else out.
I'm totally gonna forget how to do the ladder when I get in a race. It's fine.
Split S, spiral, split S, spiral, 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 spiral.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, just like
Don't forget to switch it up when you do one of your split S's. Go left, not right.
One of them is meant to be a U-turn. One of those spirals that you're saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it doesn't really matter. Spiral will probably be faster.
no, it's not.
No, U-turn is definitely faster.
I
Alright.
tested it.
Kuru.
Oh my god, I'm not gonna even try to do
Crash.
anything different. I can barely get through it.
Yeah, don't trip him up. That's gonna.
Yeah, it's weird though. This
Stick
course
to
is
one
making
way.
everyone.
If you go into
Yeah.
the ladder thinking about it, it's actually the most painful thing.
I found that it was better if I was like, okay, this one's a split, then that way. Unless I've run the course like 15 times in a row.
So we
then
calling
it's
this
like
the Jacob's Triangle?
I was gonna call it the Cascade.
the Cascade. Not Cleopatra's ladder. since
Ah,
it's
yes,
not
the dish
there.
soap.
Sounds like the name of a fancy restaurant.
The unfolded TIE fighter.
Fritz.
Cascade is a hotel in Vale.
Oh.
At least we don't have to do it the up ways.
Yeah, that would be.
That's
Yeah,
next
are we
week.
gonna get a another
Yeah,
torture?
yeah.
Well, the entire track is these, but
Oh
just
my.
like different orientation, sideways, flipped.
One of them is gonna make you do it upside down, or else like,
Yeah,
you
no,
don't
it's
get
just
credit.
one leading up to another to make a massive triangle. So you have to go up one and down the other.
Are we getting a custom map next time too?
Probably, yeah. And it'll probably be out a little bit earlier as well. Plan on doing that tomorrow morning. Trying to get Fritz in here, I'm sorry. There he is.
Fritz!
There he is.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Cool.
I can use a computer now. I know how to use computers.
I'm a real boy. Alright, so we're gonna get into the first heat here then, now that we got everybody. It's gonna be Okuru, Crash, oh wait, Sour Power. We don't have everybody.
You can go without me and just give me zeros until I get in because I don't know what's going on. I don't want to hold you guys up.
Actually, you were up against Ride this time, so you got the point for it anyways. So, you don't have to fly it if you don't want to. So that would put Okuru and Crash in here. Let's run that one then. Head to head.
Hey, what if he crashes out?
Bigger problems though. I don't I made sure there were no issues with the spawn points. So out in front, we're going to have Crash in front of Okuru. Okuru and Crash, two of the faster pilots in the enthusiast class here. Crash making his way through the circle tunnel in the middle of the field. And this amalgamation of gates through the 2 U-turns up top. Let's see if we can drop the brightness here and see these gates a little bit better. There we go. Put camera across. There we go. This is a good viewpoint. So we still have Crash and front out at the end of lap 1.
I just learned that you don't have to have the battery connected to the transmitter when you're using the sim.
For which controller?
Like yesterday.
Really?
For which controller?
I've got the Tyrannus, like the X7, the QX7, and so like once you have to use the battery to turn it on, but once you're connected to USB, you can take your battery out.
Ooh, I'm gonna try that in a minute. Because USB's got power.
Yeah, it tells you, hey, you're only using 5.3 volts, but it's enough to run the sim. So I was very happy because,
I broke my USB plug off, so I use a wireless one.
Are you using it? You're using like a wireless receiver. That's cool.
Because I set my transmitter down and I have the X9D, so it is right on the back. So if you set it down flat, it'll just snap right off.
Yeah, it's not that great where the Tyrannus, the X7 is either, but I always feel like I'm gonna break it off. But
yeah.
I have a question about the course. So on the purple flags, I noticed some people going on the outside of them, and some people going in between them.
You can't go.
How is it supposed to be done? Huh?
I don't think you can go in between them.
Yeah.
It scores it. Oh.
Yeah.
The flags on the ceiling.
That's how I thought you were supposed to do it. Is go in between each.
Oh, it scores it like that? Oh. I had planned it to be like kind of just a way to get you guys to go out wide to hit that the top of the triangle.
That's exactly what I thought.
Okay. Awesome, I appreciate it.
Yeah, so yeah, go around both flags. I didn't realize it was scoring people in between. I didn't check that. I wonder why it's doing that.
Well, crap. I mean, those purple. Not those ones. The second set where you go.
Up top, the ones that are hanging on the ceiling.
Nope. When you go through that loop right here, there's some people going around and there's some people going between them.
The little slalom things at the beginning?
Yeah.
At the very beginning, right after the start finish?
That one, you can just go straight because there's ones facing. It's just like a really hard way to go
curve.
straight.
Inside of the curve.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just straight shot it, but it's risky.
Yeah, you have to be really, really precise with it, but you can straight shot it. I've done it a couple times.
Like the brown things are designed to be on the floor, kind of. So but they're sideways.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Those ones over there.
Yeah, so I've been going between them. So you're just gonna go on the outside of them, correct?
It's supposed to be a slalom. Sorry, I didn't know which ones you were talking about when I answered that question originally. It is supposed to be a slalom between those.
You want to be on the glowy side of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The very
I've had
last
any
one is
trouble going directly
you're on the right hand side, it looks like, of each
Yeah,
one, right?
It becomes a turn.
Yeah, turn,
So
yeah.
starting from the beginning of it, you go right, left, and right around the last two.
Slippy, Jimmy, Fritz, and Trim. Slippy, Jimmy, Fritz, and Trim to the line. Just kidding, there is no line.
Well, this is also
You
the
guys all good
practice
to go?
room.
Yep.
I'm all set.
Alrighty. This is not the practice room, this is the official room.
Oh, it is the official room.
So getting the whole shot there is going to be Slippy as he makes his way through the ascent into the split S U-turn, through the slaloms there, into the amalgamation in the center of the track. He still has the lead, followed behind by Jimmy, Trim, and then FPV Fritz. Fritz, I don't believe has had the chance to run this track just yet. Two pilots making their way up through the gates up top there. Looks like Slippy took an early lead.
Where's the stupid thing?
Into the cascade,
God.
which is what I've decided to call this triangle structure.
Sorry,
that I have
everyone,
at
if
the other
you
end
can
of
hear
the
me
track.
mumbling.
Slippy now making his way back up through the ascent or lap, the beginning of lap 2 here, in through the slaloms. Up to the amalgamation. Let's follow Jimmy. He's right behind. Let's check in and see where Trim's at. He's at the U-turn underneath the ascent here. Fritz making his way through the cascade for the first time. He has not had a chance to learn this yet, so this is a dry run on this for him. Fritz.
Yo.
Split S, spiral, split S, spiral.
I'm so lost. There we go.
Ooh, getting toasty in here. It's almost like it's starting to be spring and summer. But that can't be right. It's April in Colorado. We just got some snow the other day. Oh, Slippy having a bit of trouble here. Oh no, that's Fritz. My apologies. Slippy just went out in front. Slippy is still out in front of this heat here. He does have a little bit of a lead, but not too much on Jimmy. They are on the same number gate as they make their way up the ascent, the raised carousel there, through the split S U-turn, the invert split S U-turns around the purple flags into the cascade for his final lap here. Nice and clean through that top section there where it's supposed to be a split S into a little spiral into this gate, into another split S, and then spiral all the way back down. Slippy now making his way through the last gate. He takes it. I have a feeling it's going to be a lot of close races coming down
I'm
to
out
that
of the
spiral
building. What
tonight.
in the heck? Oh no.
That was a wicked race. Slippy.
Just crash, Jimmy, or Fritz.
Okay.
Or reset, yeah. Dang, that was really close, guys. I feel like it's going to come down to that ladder a lot tonight.
That ladder is really where the math is.
Very weedy.
I'm guessing I have a few minutes free, right?
Yes.
Be right back.
Oh, shoot. Slippy, I'm sorry, no. Hey, he's gone already.
He gone.
Nope,
Dang.
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. All right, yeah, you're actually up next, and then you'll have a couple minutes.
Yeah, it's gonna take me at least like 6 minutes to finish.
Oh, yeah, because you're just learning the track for the first time, huh?
Yeah, this is the second lap I've ever done this, ever.
Gotcha.
It's my own fault. No one's fault but my own. I went grocery shopping. What can I say?
There you go. I want to let him finish since he hasn't had a chance to run it yet.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, see, that's what I thought you guys were talking about, is that it was
Those purple.
those purple flags at the top. You could go through the middle there, and it was counting them.
Split S, spiral. No.
Yes.
Wait.
Split S, spiral or U-turn, split S,
Yeah.
and then just orbit all the way down.
Oh, wait. Orbit all the way down, yeah. Ooh.
There it is.
Ooh. Lord have mercy. Sorry, guys. Thanks for waiting.
So, all
No
right.
problemo.
Except Trim. Screw you, Trim.
Sour Power, you back yet?
Not yet,
Okay.
but go ahead.
So then we have Slippy, Okuru, and Crash in this heat. Here we go, guys. Let's see who takes the whole shot here. Looks like it's going to be Slippy out in front here, in front of Crash. Crash taking it up through the ascent there. Nice and tight through that U-turn. Looks like Crash is coming. Hey, Crash, try not to go over those purple things on the side. A little bit of oversight on my part on the track design aspect there. Oh wait, no. Yeah, he can do that because they're tall gates like that. Yeah, I need to drop the scale on those. Cool, perfect, just like that. Yep. All right, let's see Okuru up through the ascent. Crash still out in front here. Slippy making his way up through the ascent here as well. Crash over at the inverted split S U-turn. Okuru making his way through the amalgamation up over the raised carousel. Crash to the top of the bottom half of the cascade here. Okuru hot behind him. All three of these pilots on lap 2 here. Slippy just out in the back, coming up to the purple flags that's hanging from the ceiling. Crash making his way through the slalom again. Okuru through the slalom now. Slippy still down through the bottom of the cascade. Crash over through the amalgamation, going around the raised carousel. Up through the top of the split S inversion. Okuru coming to the top of the split S inversion here, as Crash is already halfway through the cascade. Okuru hot on his trail. Looks like Crash is going to take this heat, which means that Crash is going to take a point over Slippy. And let's see here. Okuru is going to take that point over Sour Power because he was having difficulties getting into the game.
It's like the only thing I get right is the ladder.
Slippy making his way through the ladder
I do
here.
it the other way, Slippy. I do it counterclockwise.
True.
Nice flying pilots. So we had Okuru take it over Sour Power because of the technical difficulties, and then Crash took it over Slippy this time.
What's up, Crash?
When is Quan's up?
You got 2 or 3 more. You got 2 more heats before you're up. Next is Jimmy, Ride, Fox, and Fritz. No Fox. So that's just going to be Jimmy and Fritz in this heat. Actually, yeah, Jimmy and Fritz in this heat. Because if I take this heat away, then everybody does not fly an even amount of times.
I haven't flown yet.
Yeah, the advanced class has a couple less rounds than the enthusiast, so we're evening it out so that once we get to advanced, it's everybody's flying in order.
Oh, I forgot.
So that's going to be automatically a point for Fritz and automatically a point for Jimmy because these pilots are here and they are flying. Just going to give them a chance to run through the track here. Got to be fair to everybody and make sure everybody gets an opportunity to fly. We are going to blast through these heats though. We will let Jimmy and Fritz get this practice lap in. These practice heats, rather. So who all is flying acro tonight?
Okuru.
I am.
That's 2. Quans, you flying acro?
Yes, sir.
So that's 3 so far. I guess that's all the brave souls we have in here.
I wouldn't want to do that ladder in angle mode.
In angle? What do you mean you wouldn't want to do it in angle? It's just fine in angle. Just hold your stick to the far right. As if you're doing it clockwise.
Cameron FPV is not wrong. I did design this track in acro or in angle mode.
Wait, I think I'm doing it the other way then.
I think you're doing it clockwise.
Jimmy out on lap 3 now, nice and clean into that bottom split S into the U-turn. Oh my god, why are we listening to Banjo-Kazooie again? I just let Banjo-Kazooie theme song play for a minute and a half on the stream. I feel bad.
You're gonna get flagged.
It's a non-copyright version.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Demonetized.
Ooh, Jimmy colliding with the cascade there. So far we haven't seen too many pilots have too many issues with staying afloat over there by the cascade. I think that was actually the first time we saw a pilot collide with that gate. Let's drop the brightness again just a little bit. At one point last week, there were 13. FPV Fritz now finishing out his or making his way through his third lap. Looks like he's starting to get the hang of this part in the middle here a little bit. Cuts right. He knows to go to the far gate. He was there for the night that we raced this at the venue in Denver Drone, or at the Denver Drone Company, Denver Drone Nights on Monday, so he should know that part of the track at least. Don't
Why do
cut
I
through the
keep
flag.
thinking It's slalom on those purple thingies. Those purple flags.
I mean, that's generally their intended purpose, so it might just be like subconscious.
I guess so. It's like messing me up for some reason.
Alright. We got Fritz coming around to finish out his last lap here, so we're going to get our next pilots queued up and ready to go. It's going to be Okuru, Slippy,
Okay.
Jimmy, and Sour Power.
Plenty of room for improvement.
Sour Power is still not here yet. Slippy, you back?
I'm here.
Okay. 2 more enthusiast heats and then we break into the advanced class. So right now we have Okuru, Slippy, Jimmy, and Sour Power. I still don't see Sour Power on the list here, so we'll start it again. Through the whole shot we had Slippy out in front. Shoot.
I'm hopping in right now.
Okay, false start this real quick. Okuru is not here. Sorry, guys. Okuru? Okuru, you there, bud? Yo. Alright. Okay, well then we'll let Sour Power join in so that we don't get that lag spike during the race. Cool.
Okay, I'm here.
Sounds good. Skip to the next heat since I didn't let Okuru know he was up. It'll be Crash, Trim, and Fritz. Crash, Trim, and Fritz. Man, pilots. I didn't let Trim know either, I guess. Trim, you there, bud?
Yeah, I'm here.
Alright, you're up.
What'd you say next race?
Huh?
What'd you say?
You're up. Crash and Fritz, I apologize. I'm going to restart this one. Trim, you ready, bud?
Oh, yeah.
Alright, cool. Wait, not yet or oh yeah?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, here we go.
How come it doesn't show Trim in there?
He was still on the starting block. Alright, so we've got Crash FPV out in front now. Trim is going to overtake FPV Fritz. After a couple of cat difficulties, we got this back up and running here. That's all good, though. Crash is still out in front here up at the split S U-turn. He's going to have this point over Fox anyway since Crazy Fox was unable to make it. So the race is really between Trim and FPV Fritz. And it looks like Trim is out in front here still.
Like Horizon mode. I guess I'll just keep racing in Horizon mode. That's weird.
After this one is over, you can click the
2 or whatever it is.
yeah, or just up in the top right where it says Horizon rate angle.
Wait, which one do you
Number
press
one.
change of mode?
Number
Yes.
3 is acro, 2 is horizon, 1 is angle.
Yeah, I thought I hit 1. I don't know what my program is. Still agile.
So we still have Trim out in front of Fritz here. Crash FPV making his way through his third lap. Trim out at the top of the cascade here. Starting to get that down a little bit better. Figuring out that top half, because once you get to the bottom it's just an orbit, but that top half can be a little confusing if you don't have the muscle memory down right off the bat. Crash FPV catching up to him. Trim now making his way through that last triangle on the cascade up through the ascent. He is out in front of FPV Fritz, who is now making his way around. We have Crash FPV, who just finished his heat with a 158.899 time. He's going to take that point over Crazy Fox, but Crazy Fox is not here anyways. Do have Sour Power back in here. Trim now up at the cascade. FPV Fritz starting off his third lap here. Let's see how he's doing with the U-turn. He's going to hit this slalom. Nice straight line. Shot the gap pretty... Oh, I guess he missed one of the gates there. That's going to be Trim coming around to take that point over FPV Fritz. Fritz now heading his way up to the U-turn. Boom. You there, Okuru?
Yep.
Cool. So then this next heat is going to be Okuru, Slippy, Jimmy, and Sour Power. Okuru, Slippy, Jimmy, and Sour Power. Get your controllers ready. And then after that one, we break into the advanced class, and then everybody's flying. I mean, not all at once, but... Fritz making his way through the last triangle on the orbit here. Into the finish gate. So that's going to be Trim taking the point over Fritz and Crash getting the bye over Crazy Fox. Let's get these next pilots in here. We have Slippy, Sour Power, Okuru, and Jimmy. If you guys are all ready, we'll get this going.
Ready?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. Who will take the whole shot going into Heat 1, Round 3? It's going to be Slippy coming out in front, but Sour Power is going to overtake through the ascent here. Slippy keeping it tighter through the U-turn, but Sour Power really just full throttle through that slalom there.
See if that muted them out.
Sour Power and Slippy battling it out for first place. Okuru's going to overtake. All three of our pilots battling their way through the cascade. Jimmy making his way up to start the cascade now. Sour Power is still out in front here. Let's see if these pilots can keep it tight enough to catch up. Doesn't look like anybody's going to be able to close the gap through the cascade there. But now Slippy out in front of Okuru here. Looks like that is the race. Slippy and Okuru and Sour Power and Jimmy here. Slippy through the middle of the amalgamation. Okuru is going to blast past him there and keep it tight through that first gate in the bottom half so that he's going to overtake Slippy. Sour Power is still out in front with a resounding lead. He's all the way up halfway through the cascade now. Okuru catching up. He's hitting the top of the cascade. Slippy coming up just behind him. Jimmy making his way up through the top of the U-turn there. Nice tight trail on these pilots. A little bit of a lead in between each position though. Sour Power already through into his third lap here. Through the slalom. Okuru dropping down into the inverted split S, into the split S for the U-turn. Slippy now. Jimmy right behind. Sour Power still out in front here as he makes his way up through the U-turn, hanging from the roof. Okuru just now hitting the U-turn as well. Sour Power already halfway through. Slippy and Jimmy battling it out for third and fourth place here. Slippy's going to come a little wide and let Jimmy keep that lead that he has on him. As they come up to the ascent, or the cascade here, Sour Power is going to finish in first place. So Sour Power is going to take the point over Jimmy. Looks like Okuru is going to take the point over Slippy here. He does. He's going to finish out with a 206.837. That's going to get him the point over Slippy. Jimmy coming in third, and Slippy here finishing out this heat. Awesome flying from all these pilots. Now
Come on,
moving on to the
Slippy.
advanced
Good one,
class
man.
there.
Thanks, man. Good job, you guys.
Good job, guys. Advanced class pilots, thank you for the patience. We're moving on to your heats now. We've got Peep, MP Miller, Cameron FPV, and Fade. Peep FPV, MP Miller, Cameron FPV, and Fade FPV. You guys ready to go?
Yep. Ready.
That's 2.
Yep.
3. Peep, you good to go, bud? Peep? Yes. Okay. Alrighty, here we go then into Heat 1 of the advanced class for round 1. Let's see which of these pilots is going to take the whole shot tonight. Fast Max has been well, he's going to take the whole shot and keep the lead, but Cameron FPV is right behind him on this U-turn here. Oh, he's going to take a lead through the slalom. It is, let's see who it is tonight. We have Peep racing Miller and Jeez. Peep FPV is racing MP Miller this heat, and Cameron FPV is racing Fade. That's the two matchups we're looking at here. Looks like Fast Max is out in front of Peep FPV, Cameron FPV out in front of Fade FPV. Max making his way through the bottom of the U-turn here. He's decided to take that clockwise. I'm sorry, that's not the U-turn, that's the Cascade. He's on his way to the U-turn already. Cameron FPV coming out in second place out of that Cascade, followed closely behind by Peep FPV. Fade FPV finishing out his first lap now. Fast Max already at the bottom of the amalgamation. Peep FPV at the top. Max over the raised carousel. I think that's still what we'll call it. Max over the raised carousel into the Cascade here, orbiting down through the bottom half. Peep making his way up to the top of the Cascade. Cameron FPV trying to gain that ground on Peep FPV. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it through the Cascade, but maybe through the ascent over here. Fade FPV coming around to round out our 4 pilots here. Fast Max at the top of the amalgamation through the middle tunnel. Already on lap 3. It's 3 of our 4 pilots on lap 3 here. Fade FPV coming out to finish out his 3rd lap right now, or his 2nd lap, my apologies. Fast Max already all the way back over at the Cascade here. Next heat that Max flies will go in cam with him as he makes his way through that Cascade here. In the meantime, we'll go in cam with Cameron around the 2 purple gates into the split S, into the orbit. Nice and clean orbit there from Cameron FPV. He's going to make his way around through the orbit. A lot of these pilots deciding to go counterclockwise with this. I do think that costs them a little bit of time because they have to go around the full structure instead of just that outer line of triangle wall here. So that's going to be Fast Max coming out in first in this heat. Cameron FPV just behind, or behind him, and Peep FPV behind him, and then Fade in fourth. Good job, guys. So we got Miller taking it over Peep that round, and Cameron FPV taking it over Fade that round. Interesting to see how everybody decides to take that ladder over there.
I feel like everyone's doing it differently.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Everyone has a different line for that obstacle. It's really cool.
So into the next round here, or the next heat, my apologies. We have Carpenter, Quans, and Bumper. Let's get those pilots on here.
Steve, is your mic not working?
Bumper, Carpenter, and Quans. Quans and Bumper, you guys good to go? I heard it from Bumper. Quans, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool. Here we go. I saw it from Carpenter in the chat, just so you guys don't think I'm ignoring him. All 3 of our green pilots here. Let's see who's going to take this whole shot. Looks like it's going to be Carpenter FPV taking the whole shot. Bumper just behind. Nice tight patterns from these pilots. Bumper and Quans flying acro tonight, as well as Okuru, but Carpenter flying angle. He is the odd man out in this heat. Bumper making quick work of that amalgamation. He's going to clip the first gate of the U-turn there. Give Carpenter a chance to catch up. He's going to have to clip that the 3rd gate in that set of 4 as well. Ooh, Carpenter's gonna overtake Bumper through the cascade there. Not by much. He's got a 1 gate lead. Through the ascent. Makes it seem like he's got a much higher lead than he really does. Carpenter FPV just in front of Bumper here. Quan's making his way through the cascade here. Still trying to figure that one out. Carpenter FPV just out in front of Bumper here. Up through the ascent. Oh, it looks like he missed a gate there. Bumper's going to have a chance to overtake that. Somehow Bumper lands on one of the triangle gates and through the cascade here. Down into the second to last orbit. Carpenter's going to overtake Bumper. Bumper's going to clip the pylons there that separate the start from the rest of the track and give Carpenter a little bit more of a lead. Carpenter now at the top of the amalgamation. Bumper now coming up just behind him. Let's see if Bumper's going to be able to keep up and overtake. Doesn't quite look like it. He's making his way through the tunnel in the middle, through the bottom of the amalgamation. Carpenter all the way back up at the top now. He's got a full lap lead on Quans. Quans still figuring out that cascade for the second lap here. I do not believe Quans has had a chance to try this track out prior to this though, so it's not too much of a stretch. Carpenter going to take it with a 2-minute .124 time. Quan's coming around, finished out his second lap. Bumper with a 2-minute 4-second time. That means that Carpenter is going to take it over Quans, and Bumper is going to keep his point for the bye there. Real quick, I want to take a minute to thank our sponsors while Quans finishes out his lap here. Our sponsors for tonight's racing are The Other Guys, Colorado Drone Racing, Remote Control Hobby, Smoky Hill, and CBD Janes. Remote Control Hobby Smoky Hill can get you anything you need to get involved with the simulator races or flying drones and remote control craft in real life. The Other Guys, Colorado Drone Racing is an amazing group of people to start drone racing with. Check all three of our sponsors out at Facebook: CBD Janes, Remote Control Hobby, Smoky Hill, and The Other Guys, Colorado Drone Racing. Awesome. With that out of the way, we are going back into Velocidrone for round 4 of the enthusiast class. Nice. So Bumper had the bye round that time, and Carpenter's going to take the point over Quans. Oops, sorry guys, I was muted. Bumper had the bye round that time, and Carpenter's going to take the point over Quans. Into the next round, we have Okuru, Jimmy, and Slippy. Okuru, Jimmy, and Slippy, you three ready to go?
Yep.
I'm all set.
Go.
Cool, here we go. Into round 4, heat 1 of the enthusiast class for Denver Drone Company's Indoor Simulator Racing Series Tournament Extravaganza Special. Slippy took the whole shot, but Okuru's going to take first place there. Slippy making his way into first through the U-turn, but Okuru's going to take it back through the slalom. Okuru really seems to have the advantage in places where you can really full throttle up. Okuru did switch from the Tiny Hawk into what it looks like to be the Crazy Bee. Slippy coming up hot on his tail here. Jimmy making his way just behind Slippy. Okuru now into the Cascade. Okuru, Japanese term that means to send. Full Okuru. Full to send. Full to send.
I got kicked, sorry.
I just saw that in Discord. Don't join back in just yet. I just saw that in Discord. Don't join back in just yet.
Am I, was that my heat?
No.
I just thought you had crashed.
I see what you did there.
Part of it, I chose the name.
But yeah, no, you're in this next heat. So after this one, we'll get you back in. I just don't want you to join and lag spike the race.
All right, I'm waiting.
So it looks like Crash had a little bit of a technical difficulty and he got kicked from the server, but we have Jimmy out in front here coming down through the bottom of the Cascade. Ooh, he's already around into the ascent. He did overtake Okuru. Let's see if Okuru could full throttle through the slalom and gain any of that ground back. Slippy right behind Okuru. Jimmy won out in front here. It is going to be Jimmy versus Okuru, so if Jimmy manages to take this heat, he's going to upset Okuru, who's had a pretty good run through these last couple of races. And it's looking like it might happen. Jimmy out in front. Let's see if he can keep it clean through the split S into the spiral. Into another split S. And now all he's got to do is orbit his way down without letting Okuru overtake. Here it comes. And that's going to be it for Jimmy. Jimmy's going to take that heat. Awesome flying from Pilot. Jimmy 1. Okuru coming in just behind. He's going to collide with the start-finish gate, but it does still count it for him. Slippy now making his way through the bottom of the cascade here. He's going to finish out his third lap, and we'll move on to the next round.
Nice race.
Nice job, guys. So that was Slippy's buy round, or one of Slippy's buy rounds, and now he will be taking that point over Crazy Fox. And then Jimmy is going to take the point over Okuru. Sorry, Jimmy 1's going to take the point over Okuru there. All right. Crash, you can go ahead and join back in. Do what, Max?
Spectate me? Look where I am.
I can't because you're not technically flying. Where are you? Underneath? Yeah. You'll have to show me how you did that after the fact. Trim and Crash and Fritz, you're on the line.
Good.
Trim and Crash, you can go ahead and join back in if you haven't already. You did. Good. Alrighty, Trim, Crash, Fritz, you guys are all ready?
Yeah.
Sorry, Trim, you good to go?
Good.
Okay. And then Crash said he was ready, so here we go. Into Heat 2 of Round 4, we've got Trim, Crash, and Fritz on the ride. This is a race between Trim and Crash. Fritz is supposed to be up against Ride. Looks like Crash is going to come through the start here. Oh, he's going to collide with that first gate in the slaloms here. Didn't really put too much of a hamper on it though. FPV Fritz out just behind Trim, just behind Fritz. Crash already through the tunnel of the amalgamation. Up over the raised carousel there into the inverted S U-turn. Crash FPV with a pretty substantial lead on FPV Fritz here, who's now making his way through the top of the U-turn, as well as Trim. Crash now halfway through the cascade. I am still muted in Discord, so that's good. Trim, Crash, and Fritz in this heat. Dr. Ride could not make it tonight. Crash FPV still out in front with a pretty substantial lead. Trim did overtake Fritz through that ladder. It looks like the cascade down over there at the end of the track. Up through the ascent for Fritz. Trim through the slalom over here. Crash FPV up already through the amalgamation on his second lap. Am I next? Sorry, multitasking. Crash FPV coming out through the ascent here in his final lap. We've got Trim making his way through the top of the cascade over there. Crash FPV at the top of, or the bottom of the amalgamation, all the way already all the way over the raised carousel there. He's going to collide with the ceiling, which is going to give him a little bit of a penalty there. But Trim through the slaloms now up at the top of the amalgamation. Fritz making his way through to finish out lap 2 here. Crash FPV coming around through the bottom of the cascade in to finish his lap. We have Trim at the top of the inverted split S U-turn and Fritz at the tunnel of the amalgamation. Let's watch Trim make his way through the cascade here as I award Crash his point. That's going to be Trim taking a point over Fritz if that was the race, but it is not. It is going to be Crash taking a point over Trim, and Fritz taking the point over Ride. This is a bye round for Sour Power. We have Peep, Cam, Carpenter, and Miller in this next heat. Nice job, guys. So up next we have Peep, Cameron FPV, Carpenter FPV, and MP Miller. Let's knock these other guys out of the air real quick. King Kong style.
Was I missed in one of those rounds?
That
Or did I have a bye?
That last round was your bye.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So the buys, the way the buys are working this time is just there's an extra person per each round, so they just sit that one out.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Because there are, yeah, like for instance in that heat it was only Trim, Crash, and Fritz flying, but Ride was supposed to be in there, so it wasn't technically a buy for Fritz. It's more like winning a point there.
That makes sense.
So yeah, okay, sorry. Peep FPV, Cameron FPV, Carpenter FPV, and MP Miller. You guys all good to go?
Yep. Yes, sir.
All right, that's 2 in chat and 2 in voice. Here we go. Let's see. Looks like it's a heat against Cameron FPV for Peep FPV, and Carpenter FPV is up against MP Miller. Fast Max took the whole shot, and he's at the top of the amalgamation already. Peep and Carpenter FPV now fighting it out for second place at the top. Cameron FPV hot on all 3 of those pilots' trails. Max with a pretty substantial lead already. MP Miller out at the top of the cascade. Carpenter FPV trying to close that ground as he comes up to the top of the cascade. Looks like Fast Max is making quick work of that orbit section out of the bottom of that ladder. He's already out in first place, out through the slaloms here. Carpenter FPV now making his way up through the beginning of his second lap. Cameron FPV just finished, and Peep FPV just finished. When we get over to the cascade there, I want to come in cam with Fast Max. Actually, we'll just go ahead and hop in cam now. He's going to be there any second anyways. Here it comes. So he's got the split S into the orbit, into a split S into 4 orbits down. He decided to take it clockwise around the outside as well. Nice and clean orbit there from Fast Max. Carpenter FPV now on the bottom half of the cascade as well. Here is Peep FPV at the bottom of the cascade. We've got Cameron FPV out through the slaloms now. Up at the top of the amalgamation. I'd like to see how this pilot makes his way through the bottom half of the cascade as well. See if it's as clean as Fast Max. Nice wide turn through the raised carousel there. That's going to be Max finishing out his heat in first place. Nice and smooth, tight movements from Cameron FPV through the bottom half of the cascade here. Interesting to me. Oh, that was very close. Cameron's just barely going to overtake Carpenter FPV. Pete making his way through the bottom.
Oh my word.
Wow.
Oh.
How much of a difference?
300ths of a second.
Oh my god.
300ths of a second was the difference between Cameron and Carpenter that time. I was watching Cameron FPV's point of view at that time, so I didn't get to see like the photo finish, but dang.
That's pretty cool.
Let's see what Peep's saying in chat. Carpenter, yup, how is that possible? Good job. So that's
How do
going
you
to
see the
be-
point of view?
If you right click, well yeah, you can either go through spacebar or on the leaderboard on the left side there, if you right click on their name.
I'm getting like third person on all those.
Oh, hit,
What?
hit
F.
Hit S to change the
S for spectator.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. That's
There-
weird.
I mean,
S and then just hit space and then
Yeah, I was doing that. I wonder if F will give you first person point of view, like the
so
same as
okay,
when
so spacebar just rotates through the cameras themselves.
I got that.
So yeah,
And-
so
and
you have to
the arrows
on
change the camera angles.
leaderboard.
And S
The
goes.
leaderboard there on the left where you see Fast Max, Cameron, Carpenter, and Peep
Yeah,
at
you
other
can click
times.
on 'em.
Yeah, right click on it.
Oh, right click.
Yes.
Is Carpenter in the Discord?
He is. I don't know if he's in the Discord. He is in the Discord. He's muted, but he's talking in the game chat.
Okay. Well, if he can hear me, then dude, I was chasing him for the last 2 laps. I totally had to stumble at the slalom on the first lap and realized I went from second to last place, and I started chasing people down. I was chasing Carpenter for the last 2 laps there, and I watched him on the second lap ladder. I was like, okay, maybe this might be the spot where I can get him at the end. I just slowly started creeping on him that whole time. Dude, that was the most intense racing I think I've ever done in a long time. I'm not gonna lie.
So we have
So-
Bumper, Fade, and Quan's up now.
Who is that? The who?
So Cam took that one over Peep, and then MP Miller took it over Carpenter FPV that time. Bumper, Fade, and Quans, are you guys good to go?
Right.
I heard 2. Who did I miss? Fade, was that? Did you say you were good?
I did say.
Okay, and then Quans, maybe I didn't hear you.
We're good. I'm good.
Okay, and then I did hear Bumper. And I could hear him tapping. He's ready to go. Here we go.
Oh, Bumper ASMR or something.
3, 2, 1.
Oh,
So that's going to be Bumper taking the whole shot there. Looks like Quan's had a little bit of an issue coming off the start-finish block there. Ooh, Bumper's going to collide with the second-to-last gate in the slaloms here, but he did have a really nice move through the inverted split S U-turn. Bumper going to overtake Fade, really zoom and make a quick work of this amalgamation. Up through the inverted split S U-turn here. Fade now trying to catch that, make that ground up. Quan's making his way through the bottom of the amalgamation, still kind of learning the track a little bit. Bumper battling it out with Fade. Fade's going to overtake. We know Bumper has the opportunity to open it up when we get into that straightaway area, though. Bumper is flying acro, and so is Quans. Fade is in angle mode, so he's the odd man out here, but we do have Fade through the U-turn. Bumper's at the slalom here, just behind Fade. Bumper now opening it up to come up and gain that ground on Fade. Looks like he's going to overtake through the bottom of the amalgamation. Bumper now out in front over Fade. Quan's making his way through the ascent at the beginning of his second lap here. In cam with Bumper as he makes his way through the split S. I'd like to see how an acro flyer handles this. He's making his way, having a little bit of trouble keeping track of the direction of these gates here. That's going to give Fade an opportunity to overtake. Let's see if Bumper can open it up again through the slalom and the amalgamation and overtake, but gain enough ground this time that he gets a chance to really work his way through that cascade. Bumper is back out in front, but he does not have as big of a lead as he did on Fade last lap. Quan's now making his way through the cascade again. See if Bumper keeps it together this time and makes it through the cascade nice and smooth. Looks like Fade's going to overtake here. Fade is going to finish just out in front of Bumper, unfortunately. Shouldn't say unfortunately. Unfortunately for Bumper, not unfortunately for me. It's not like I have anything riding on it.
Nice race, Bumper.
That was an amazing race.
Quans, Bumper. Who am I missing here? Carpenter.
35 in practice, 43 in race. What does that mean?
Nerves.
Aren't it too bad?
So that's going to be Fade taking it over Bumper that heat, and that was Quans' bye round.
I'm telling you guys, Fade, Bumper, that was an incredible race to
Yeah.
watch because Bumper, your speed is higher than Fade's is. You'll zip out in front, but then you'll commit an error. It'll fly by you, and he'll honestly get 7 or 8 gates in front of you. Then you recover from your error, and you make up ground so fast, and you're back in the lead.
Yeah, especially through the slalom and that central part.
Yeah, that's
I
the
swear you guys
adrenaline.
exchanged places 4 or 5 times. It was just brilliant.
Yeah, I have to figure out what your quad set to.
I wish I got to practice a little bit. This is a hard course just to kind of go off whims.
Yeah.
Dude,
All right,
I,
so
feel, I just can't catch up. I don't even know the ladder gate. Weird.
in this heat now, we've got Okuru, Fritz, Ride, and Trim. Let's get those guys in here. Fritz, Okuru, Trim and Ride is not here this time. All right, so then Okuru, Fritz, and Trim, are you three pilots ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Thank you again to our sponsors for tonight's racing. The other guys, Colorado Drone Racing, Remote Control Hobby, Smoky Hill, and CBD Janes. Now let's get back to the race as we see Okuru take the whole shot there over Trim and FPV Fritz. Trim just behind Okuru. All three pilots nice and tight. Okuru and Trim getting a little bit of ground on FPV Fritz here. Fritz and Trim making their way out for second and third here. This is a heat between Okuru and Fritz. Trim is on his bye round. Not really a bye round. He was supposed to race Dr. Ride, but Dr. Ride couldn't make it tonight, so Trim is going to overtake that point on Ride's heat.
Oh, Max, I figured out your underneath trick.
For what?
Your little underneath trick.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
When you're able to get underneath the...
Okuru's still out in front here, already on lap 2. Trim and FPV Fritz making their way through the cascade, still at the end of the track there.
If you go like a foot under the actual floor of the
We will be running Hydra next race, or probably next Tuesday. More likely next Tuesday we will start running Hydra for these events, so you can bet if you're in the audience. Pick the placement for your pilots.
Yeah, if you throttle up, you're just back inside.
Okuru is still out in front here, making his way through the end of the cascade. He does collide with one of the orbit gates, but he's got plenty of time. Panicking a little, but he shouldn't. He's got plenty of time out in front. A good 10-12 gate lead. He's already into lap 3 while the other two pilots are still back on lap 2 here. Trim now, halfway done with the cascade. He's going to start orbiting his way down as FPV Fritz hits the top gate and starts doing the split S part of it. Okuru now through the tunnel in the middle of the amalgamation, through the bottom of the amalgamation, up around the raised carousel. Keep forgetting that word. I want to call it the raised merry-go-round, but I know that's not right. Or at least that it's not right, but it's more whimsical. Trim now in second place with a pretty decent lead on Fritz. Trim already through the amalgamation here, as Fritz is just making his way up to the top. Okuru finishing out his third lap with the descent, or the cascade there. Nice flying from Okuru, who's going to take it over Fritz this heat. Which means that Okuru is so far our enthusiast leader for tonight.
Okuru, did you glitch out there? By the ladder?
Trim and FPV Fritz still making their way around the track here. Trim now through the bottom of the cascade. He's going to finish out with a 2:42 time. He's going to take second place. He did have a bye round this heat anyways, though. Nice.
I do give credit to the people flying acro. I just tried to do the ladder flying acro and it took me about like 10 minutes.
This heat is going to be sour. Oh, I'm sorry. So that was a heat between Fritz and Okuru. Okuru is going to take the point over Fritz there. Trim had a bye because he was supposed to race Dr. Ride. This next heat is going to be Sour Power, Slippy, and Jimmy.
Cameron, try the ladder in acro mode.
I don't wanna.
I don't wanna. Sour Power, Slippy, and Jimmy, you guys good to go?
Fine.
I'm all set.
Took me forever to get it.
Good to go.
Alrighty. Pilots, drop those goggles and show me those thumbs. We're going live on the tone in less than 5.
Someone's plugged in the pits.
Yeah.
Yep, bad video.
Too bad. Sour Power taking the whole shot there. He's out in front. Slippy just behind, and Jimmy just behind there.
Micro mode's so hard.
Sour Power getting a pretty decent lead here on Slippy and Jimmy. Jimmy and Slippy battling for second place. Sour Power way out in front through the bottom of the amalgamation. Not way out in front. Slippy's just 2 gates behind. And Jimmy just 1 gate behind that. Sour Power now making his way around the purple flags hanging from the ceiling, and Slippy about to do the same. We drop the brightness again a little bit. We've got Sour Power coming out through the top of lap 2 here. Slippy at the bottom of the cascade into lap 2. Jimmy just behind. Let's see if Jimmy's going to open up the throttle and give Slippy a run for his money here. In cam with Sour Power through the bottom of the amalgamation. Looks like he's going to have a little bit of trouble with that third gate there. A little bit choppier flying coming from Sour Power. Part of me wonders if it's the game itself or what the deal is with that, but I think it's just the spectator mode, trying to keep up with the frames. He is down at the bottom of the cascade going into his third lap now. Let's see Slippy and Jimmy battle it out through the bottom of the cascade here. Sour Power already at the top of the amalgamation. Slippy's going to overtake Jimmy, and he's going to come around to finish out lap 2. Jimmy now finishing out lap 2 as well as he finishes up the last triangle in the cascade there. Sour Power already at the inverted split S U-turn, hanging from the ceiling, about to go around the 2 purple flags and into the top of the cascade. The first split S is going to hit the orbit, drop into the second split S, and orbit down the rest of the ladder. Come around into the start-finish to finish out lap 3, so he's going to take first place this heat. Slippy making his way through the top of the U-turn up to the cascade as well. Jimmy trying to gain that ground back and see if he can overtake here. If Jimmy keeps it clean enough, he could. He's gaining ground. He's only got one gate between him and Slippy. Slippy now at the orbit section of the cascade. Ooh, Jimmy nice and tight through the orbit. He might overtake. He is. He's going to overcome through that bottom one. Oh, no, he does not. He's so close. He just couldn't keep it tight enough around the orbit, but he did have the speed
who took
there.
that?
Jimmy, that was so close, man.
Oh my
You had
God,
the you had
too
the speed,
close.
but he was just a little bit tighter.
Oh, Slippy.
I got you, buddy.
Yeah, you did, man. You got my hands shaking too, buddy.
Good job,
Yeah,
guys.
less than half a second too. Nice work.
So that was a heat between Slippy and Jimmy. So that means Slippy's going to take the point over Jimmy there. Sour Power is going to take the point that he would have gotten for racing Crazy Fox. And now we are on to Heat 1 of round 3 of the advanced racing. We have Peep FPV. Oh, let me get the other guys out of here. Okay, sorry. Peep FPV, Cameron FPV, Bumper, and Carpenter. You guys good to go? I
Yes,
see
sir.
Peep said he's here. Carpenter's got a yes in chat. And then Bumper, you tapping on your mic?
Hi.
There he is. Here we go, guys.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Get that out of the way. Cameron FPV is going to take the whole shot there. Carpenter FPV just behind. Bumper.
Oh, what is going on with this, man? It's not counting my slalom all that great. Are you
Got
taking the right
Carpenter
sides?
making his way through the middle of the amalgamation.
Yeah, I'm taking the right
here. Looks
sides.
like
I'm
Peep is out in front.
actually doing the straight shot. I'm cutting it real tight, so I don't know what's going on with that.
Cameron FPV saying he's having a little bit of problem with the slalom gates at the beginning of the track. I have to remember not
This
to use
track's a
those
load of
sideways
BS.
gates anyway. I was just saying I need to remember not to use those sideways gates as a slalom from now on.
Yeah.
But they just look so much cooler.
Yeah, they do. They look like, I don't even know what. They're just like not normal slaloms.
Yeah, no. They don't even really have a gate attached to them.
Oh, you
But-
just had to put a marker there.
Yeah, there are invisible slalom gates you can add, so I was using those.
Oh my, get.
But we do have Peep FPV out in front as he makes his way into lap 3 here. Cameron FPV did gain ground back, and now he's in second place. Let's see if he's going to be able to catch up to Peep through this third lap. Bumper now in second, or in third here. This is a heat between Peep and Carpenter FPV, Cameron FPV, and Bumper. So we're looking for Bumper to overtake Cameron FPV and Carpenter to catch up with Peep. I don't think the Carpenter's going to be able to catch up with Peep, but if Cameron makes a mistake, Bumper might be able to catch up with Cameron FPV. Peep FPV now at the top of the cascade here. Cameron FPV gaining ground, making his way to the top of the cascade as well. Let's see if Bumper can keep it tight. Oh, Bumper's going to collide with the top of the cascade, so it looks like Cameron FPV is going to take it over Bumper. Peep FPV is going to take the point over Carpenter there. Mark that down real quick. That's Cameron FPV taking the point over Bumper. Bumper coming out to finish out his third lap now with a 2 minute 1 second time. Carpenter FPV making his way through the end of the Cascade here. He's going to finish out with a 2 minute and 8 second time. Nice job, guys. So we had Peep FPV take the point over Carpenter, and Cameron FPV take the point over Bumper.
Suck it, Bumper. No, I'm kidding.
You be nice.
That's good flying, dude.
You be nice right now.
Be nice, Bumper. Which goes up.
Yellow card.
Dude, Bumper's flying acro. I don't know how anyone does that, and for him to be really that close
Did you
to
try
me.
the ladder with it?
Yeah, I did. It's awful. So
It's awful.
kudos to you, Bumper. Good flying.
This heat
It just takes
contains
practice, man. Really.
Quans,
Turn the D-
Fade,
gotta
and
turn the
MP
D
Miller.
way the heck down. I'm running
Turn
my
the
D
what?
at like 10 or 11.
I'll turn the D down.
Yeah, so just turn the D down to fly acro. It's something is really crappy unless you turn it down.
Huh.
I threw my roll down a little bit to help.
Carpenter FPV.
I totally forgot that PID tuning was a thing in beta in Velocidrone. Just because I remember people saying like you don't have to worry about PID tuning for the 5 inches for simulators.
That's not right.
I don't believe it. Obviously, they put it in there for a reason. But I just ended up getting used to flying it as it was instead of trying to tune it the way I liked it. So we got FPV Miller, MP Miller, Fade FPV, and Quans in this one. You guys ready to go?
Yep, ready.
Yep.
Cool. That's 3 yeses. Here we are.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So off the line first, we're going to have Fast Max into the split S U-turn through the slaloms, nice and smooth. Fade FPV hot on his trail here. Both pilots at the top of the amalgamation. My apologies. Fast Max already at the bottom of the amalgamation. Fade FPV making his way up behind. Quans battling it out for third or second place with Fade FPV.
How do you enter FPV mode when spectating?
Right click one of the names.
Oh, there we go.
We're going to have Fast Max out in front. Speaking of first person view mode for spectating, let's go in cam with him as he makes his way through the amalgamation here. Nice tight movements through the bottom. Smooth little lean into the U-turn there. Nice smooth movements. Well, they're more stop and start, but that's exactly what you need to do in that situation. Let's go in cam with Fade FPV. He's making his way up to the U-turn, or to the Cascade as well through the U-turn. Split S for Fade FPV here. Making his way through the bottom. Fast Max about to lap here to go into lap 3. Let's see if he can finish out before Fade FPV finishes his second lap. He cannot. So Fast Max is not going to be able to lap, but he will finish with a 1 minute and 29 second time. Let's check in with Fade FPV as he comes around to finish out his third lap now. Quan's up at the U-turn to finish out the, or to head to the Cascade to go through for his second lap as well. Bring the brightness back up just a little bit. There we go. Fade FPV now at the U-turn. For the split S inverted U-turn at the top of the Cascade. Quan's now at the bottom of the Cascade, making his way through the ladder into the last orbit there. He's going to come around and up into the ascent there for the split S U-turn. He is flying acro tonight. That's going to be Fade coming across to finish out his third lap. Quan's up at the top. So that is going to be Fade taking the point over Quan's in this heat, and MP Miller on his bye round. Let's let Quans finish out his heat before we jump back into the Discord there and let them know. Just to be fair, no need to distract. Quan's going around the 2 purple gates hanging from the top. Into the first split S of the Cascade. He's going to collide there a little bit. Quan's now at the bottom of the Cascade here. Now that we're moving into round 6 of the enthusiast class. We're going to take a second and do another ad break. Thank you to the other guys, Colorado Drone Racing, Remote Control Hobby, Smoky Hill, and CBD Janes. Thank you so much to those sponsors. All right. So that was going to be Quanz's buy round. I'm sorry, not Quanz. I'm sorry. That's MP Miller's buy round. Fade's going to take that point over Quanz. Now we're moving into round 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the enthusiast class with Trim, Fritz, and Jimmy. Let's get Trim, Fritz, and Jimmy in here. You guys ready to go?
Yep.
Yes.
Alrighty, that's 3. Here we are going live with Trim, Jimmy, and FPV Fritz. Jimmy 1, let's see, I believe he's going to take the whole shot. He does. Jimmy 1's going to take the whole shot through there. Trim gaining ground, coming from 3rd to 2nd, and then he'll probably come to overtake Jimmy at some point before Jimmy pulls away again. Except for Jimmy's already up at the top of the amalgamation. Trim now and FPV Fritz both making their way through the tunnel at the middle of the amalgamation, as Jimmy's got a little bit of a lead through the top of the raised carousel there. Let's go back in with him as he makes his way up through the U-turn. He's going to drop down through the split S into the orbit for the top half of the cascade there into the bottom orbit section. We've got Trim coming around just ahead of FPV Fritz, not too far, 3 gates behind Jimmy. Jimmy's now going to come into his 2nd lap here and drop down into the U-turn. Trim coming around into the ascent himself. FPV Fritz hot on his tail. Let's see if Trim can keep this lead on FPV Fritz while also catching up to Jimmy. Jimmy at the bottom of the amalgamation. This has been a pretty clean run for Jimmy 1. Down through the 2 gates at the bottom of the U-turn, up through 3 and 4. Going to cut left around the 2 flags hanging from the ceiling as he makes his way to the top of the cascade as well. Trim now up through the raised carousel. FPV Fritz hot behind him at the bottom of the amalgamation. Jimmy 1 now still out in front at the bottom of the cascade, coming into lap 3 here, about to come around into the ascent. Trim now halfway through the cascade as FPV Fritz makes his way to the top half here. Let's go in cam with Jimmy 1 as he heads through the top of the amalgamation. Nice tight lines into the tunnel. Hard right out of the tunnel into the bottom part of the whirlpool. It's going to hit the 2 gates hanging on the wall. Yes, drop the brightness here a little bit. We're going to head back to spectator mode. Oh, I lied. We'll head back to Jimmy's point of view so we can see as he orbits his way down through the cascade here. That's going to be the last gate, so Jimmy's going to come around and take first place in this heat. Raise the brightness some here. We've got Trim in 2nd place coming through the top of the cascade. Fritz around to the U-turn. Jimmy done with his heat. Trim now halfway through the cascade for the end of lap 3 here. So that is going to be Jimmy 1 taking the point over Fritz. And that was the bye round for Trim, as he was supposed to race Crazy Fox, who was unable to make it. FPV Fritz finishing out his last lap there. Awesome flying from those 3 pilots. Trim is going to take the point over Crazy Fox, who didn't race that round. Then we have Jimmy taking the point over Fritz. Congratulations to those pilots and great flying from everybody. Moving into the next round, or the next heat of this round, we have Dr. Ride, Sour Power, Crash, and Slippy. Dr. Ride not able to make it, so one of these pilots already has a bye here. But I'm not telling who. Alright, so we've got Crash. We've got Slippy. And we've got Sour Power. Are those 3 pilots ready to go?
Yep.
That's 1.
1 second.
Okay. Oh, sorry, Twitch chat. MB Farmer. Hi, Mom.
Alright,
Guys, say hi to my mom. She's watching in the Twitch chat.
Hi, Steven's mom.
So we have Crash, Slippy, and Sour Power. You guys good to go now?
Yes.
Okay. And then Sour Power, you good?
Yep.
Okay. Alrighty, here we go. This is round 6, Heat 2, with Slippy, Crash FPV, and Sour Power. Crash FPV is going to be out of the gate first. Sour Power and Crash FPV are going to be neck and neck this whole time if I had any indication of how this is going to go. Looks like Sour Power did have a little bit of issue with the U-turn there. So he's going to give Crash an opportunity to get out in front. Let's see if he's going to be able to bring that back and close that gap between him and Crash FPV. This heat is a race between Crash and Sour Power. Slippy is supposed to crash or race Dr. Ride, who was unable to participate tonight. So Crash and Sour Power are the ones to watch. Looks like Sour Power did overtake Slippy, which means he's that much closer to Crash FPV here. Gaining ground on him as he makes his way through the bottom of the cascade there. Tries to speed up through there, but he can't really get enough speed to gain that ground on Crash. Looks like Slippy's going to collide with the bottom of the cascade there and give Sour Power and Crash a pretty resounding lead over him. Crash now up through the raised carousel into the inverted split S U-turn. Sour Power now at the top of that U-turn as well. Let's see if Crash is going to collide with any of this gate or any of these gates here in the cascade and give Sour Power an opportunity to catch up. It looks like he might. Crash does collide with one of the gates there. Sour Power now with a 1-gate deficit over Crash FPV. Sour Power is going to collide with... Oh, no, he didn't. It was just the trick of the light. Crash FPV out of the front, going through the middle of the amalgamation. Sour Power desperately trying to gain that ground back. Crash FPV pauses for a little bit at the middle of the bottom half of the amalgamation there. It's not going to be enough for Sour Power. Crash might collide again with one of these gates here. If he does, Sour Power might be able to close this gap, but it looks like Crash FPV is going to be the one that finishes out this cascade nice and smooth through the bottom orbit section, out into the last triangle through. That's going to be Crash coming around with a 1:53 time. Very close race between he and Sour Power, who finished with a 1:54.
I didn't know you were that close.
Finishing out the U-turn there around the...
Yeah, I didn't count one of my gates, and I tried to play catch-up like hell to get back up to you.
That was so close. You guys got it down on that tower of gates, man.
So that is going to be Crash just barely edging out Sour Power. That was the one to watch for this heat, or for this this race. Looks like Crash is going to keep his track record as undefeated. That was super close. Watching Sour Power gain that ground was nuts. And then just to be like less than a full second behind was...
It was insane.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Terrifying.
Pretty cool. I didn't know he was that close. I was like, oh, I got a couple seconds on him, and then he went right behind me. I was like, oh, gee.
Sneaking up on
Who are we
me.
up against?
Sorry, I guess I was muted for that part. So that was a round between Slippy and Dr. Ride. So Slippy took that point, and then it was Crash and Sour Power. So Crash took the point over Sour Power that heat.
Which gate didn't count for you, Star?
Was it one of the slalom ones, Sour Power? That didn't count?
Yeah. Yeah, it was doing it a little bit. It's like the second or third slalom that didn't count, even going on the right side. And during practice, I tried to raise myself up a little bit. And once in a blue moon, it still wouldn't catch me. I was like, maybe it's something I'm not hitting it right, or...
It's definitely the second one for me.
Yeah, I think it's the second one. I know it's one of those two, second or third.
Okay. Peep's saying it seems if you're too close to it, that it's possible to not trigger it, I guess.
Huh.
It was too
sorry,
perfect.
Game, we're just too fast and perfect for you.
Right.
Keeping your lines
They have
too
those
tight.
openings on those to go through for a reason.
So
Yeah,
we're
I thought
moving
that was
into
how that was designed.
moving into round 4, heat 1 for the advanced class. We've got Peep, Bumper, and Carpenter. Did I read that right? No, that's not the right one. Oh wait, yes it is. Yeah, Peep, Bumper, and Carpenter up now.
Peep said K.
Okay.
And there's Bumper, Carpenter, Peep. Alright, I got the 2 in chat and I heard Bumper, so we're going to go live with this heat.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's see who takes the whole shot here. Looks like it's Carpenter FPV taking the whole shot, going out in front, keeping that lead through the ascent and the U-turn. Bumper's going to overtake Peep FPV though. Scratch that. Bumper's going to overtake both pilots through the top of the amalgamation. See, he gets that speed, but then he makes a error. Let's see though. Bumper's going to collide with the middle gate there, give up that lead, give it to Peep FPV over Carpenter. Let's see if Bumper's going to be able to gain the ground here. He's 5 gates behind Peep FPV. This is where it usually comes down to it, to see who gets to be out in front. Bumper taking these a little wide. Gonna definitely let Peep keep his lead through the ascent. Carpenter FPV now through the ascent as well. Bumper catching up though. Doing a cute little tornado down through the U-turn there. Peep FPV now at the bottom of the amalgamation. Looks like Bumper's going to overtake Carpenter through those slaloms there. Bumper up and through the raised carousel there. Trying to gain ground on Peep. Let's see if he can make it happen through this carousel. Peep's going to have to make an error, I think, if Bumper's going to want to gain this ground even with his speed. Peep now still out in front for lap 3, coming into the U-turn here, into the slaloms. Bumper into the ascent. Nice split S from Bumper, who is flying acro tonight. Carpenter FPV up through the ascent as well. Peep FPV at the U-turn, heading up through to start his cascade on his last lap. Looks like Carpenter overtook Bumper, who definitely did not catch that second to last gate there. So we've got Peep FPV out in front here to take that over Bumper, who did have a bit of a struggle with the gate there at the end of the slaloms.
Fuck you, Pete.
You don't mean that. You mean it about the slalom gate.
Remember, you have to be nice about it, so you have to say, with all due respect, in my personal opinion.
And then just scream at him.
I didn't realize you hadn't caught that gate. I would have said something. I'm sorry.
I heard you guys talking about it, but I was gonna call bullshit until it happened to me.
As long as it happens to everybody once, right? That's the spirit of a round robin.
Yeah, I think we're just too fast for that game.
It's possible. You guys are zipping through those slaloms.
It has a speed limit.
Honestly, it's kind of, it has happened before. Moving into this next heat, we have Quans. Wait, did I already take everybody out? Okay, I did. We have Quans, Cameron FPV, Fade FPV, and MP Miller.
I'm ready.
Cameron FPV, Fade FPV, MP Miller. Are you 4 pilots ready to go?
Ready.
All right.
Just about. Let me finish this last run on this tower.
No.
Oh, come on. We'll see.
What round are we on?
Oh.
I saw you were at the last game.
Oh.
So we're going to have Cameron FPV take the whole shot, but Fast Max is going to gain ground on him through the slaloms there. Cameron FPV now nice and tight through the amalgamation right behind Max. Fast Max gaining a little bit of ground. Cameron FPV now through the ascending merry-go-round. Fade FPV keeping his third place spot with a pretty decent lead on Quans, but a little bit of a deficit on Cameron FPV, who is heading down through the Cascade, 2 gates behind Fast Max. MP Miller through the U-turn into the slalom now. Cameron FPV coming around up through the ascent into lap 2. Fade FPV finishing out the Cascade into lap 2. Quans making his way down through the bottom of the Cascade as well. Fast Max now back up out through the U-turn. Cameron FPV at the top of the amalgamation through the tunnel of the amalgamation. Fade FPV around the slaloms. Looks like he missed that gate. Fast Max down through the Cascade into lap 3. Cameron FPV starting the Cascade up at the top here. Fast Max has a pretty substantial lead on the other 3 pilots here. This is a heat between MP Miller and Fade. So unless Fade can gain ground, doesn't look like he's going to get the point here. Cam and Quans are the other 2 pilots going head-to-head in this round-robin matchup. Cameron FPV looking like he's going to take the lead on this one. He's got about a half-lap lead on Quans. MP Miller laps Quans now, heading down nice and smooth through the Cascade. That's going to be Fast Max coming around with a 131 pace. He's going to take the point over Fade FPV. Cameron FPV is going to take the point over Quans, it looks like, as long as he doesn't collide with the last gate of this carousel, or the descent too many times, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Cameron FPV finishing out in 2nd place. He's going to take the point over Quans. Fade losing that point out to MP Miller. Excuse me for just a moment. And there's Quans coming around to finish out that last lap. So let's see here. That round was... I just marked it. Where'd it go? Oh, it's one more over. That round was a head-to-head between Quans and Cameron FPV, and a head-to-head between Fade FPV and MP Miller. So MP Miller is going to take the point over Fade, and Cameron FPV is going to take the point over Quans this time.
I can get Max, but that time I felt like I was flying like garbage, man. I was hitting everything.
Peep, sorry. In that last round, Carpenter was on by. I just saw your message.
When am I up next? Is it like anytime soon, or do I got a minute?
You got 3 heats before you're up again.
Okay.
Does anybody else want to take a break? Do we need to take a 5-10 minute break for bathrooms or whatever?
I'm in for whatever.
I'm not gonna keep going. I was just grabbing some water. I already got it though.
I put a catheter in. We're good.
Cool.
Nice.
Everybody could take notes on the initiative.
That's a real pilot right there.
Alright, so then we're into, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of 9 for the enthusiasts. And we are in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, round 5 of advanced. So we have Okuru, Fritz, and Crash to the line. Get these guys in here. Okuru, Fritz, and Crash. All 3 of those pilots good to go. Oh, Trim left.
Yeah, it should be.
Did you get disconnected, Trim?
No, I gotta do one thing real quick.
Okay.
Is there,
Alright, so then we'll run this one, and then we'll skip to advanced, and then we'll come back to that after Trim gets back. Okuru, Crash, and Fritz, I've already got you guys in here. You ready to go?
Yep.
Yeah, man. Red.
Alrighty, that's 3 pilots. Let's see which one of these 3 pilots is going to take the whole shot as we go into round 7 of the enthusiast racing. Crash FPV is going to take the whole shot, followed by a Fritz and then Okuru, but Okuru is going to take Fritz over in that ascent there at the beginning after the hard 90 degree left turn. Crash FPV's keeping his lead out in front as he keeps through the amalgamation. Okuru just behind, though, coming through the bottom 3 gates. Fritz FPV making his way through the bottom section there. Crash and Okuru making their way down through the cascade over at the backside. Take a Flight FPV, woot woot, some big names, quick flyers. Seriously, man, did you just see the heat with MP Miller 2 ago? Or 1 ago? Yeah, last heat, Miller had a 1:30 lap, or heat. It was nuts. We go in camera with Crash FPV as he makes his way through the... Dang, I bet a tad late. Yeah. That's fine. He'll be up again soon. Crash FPV through the bottom of the cascade here. He's going to hit these last 2 gates and then end up... Oh, but he's going to get overtaken by Okuru. Let's go back to spectator mode so we can see Okuru make his way through the slalom here. Out in front of Crash now in lap 3. Let's see if Crash is going to close this lead back up. Looks like he's gaining a little bit of ground on Okuru, but Okuru is keeping it nice and tight through those. Crash is going to overtake just barely through the ascending carousel there. Okuru did keep it a little bit tighter. Okuru's flying acro through this the cascade, well, through the whole race, but through the cascade. Looks like he did overtake Crash. Let's see if he can keep it. Here he comes, down through the bottom. That's going to be Okuru taking it over Crash. Dang.
Nice one, Okuru.
So we got FPV Fritz out in front. Man, what an upset. Windows, oh, Okuru faced Crash in the first heat. We've got Fritz making his way up through the top of the cascade there. I saw him once live, so I know of... Yeah, no, he's nutty. FPV Fritz. Take a Flight says, go Fritz. Nice flying, guys. So, here's the thing. Okuru, you were supposed to race Dr. Ride that time, so you got the bye, which means Crash took the point over Fritz. But if you had been facing Crash that time, it would have been the first time he's lost so far in the series.
No, he's been my nemesis thus far. A couple seconds ahead of me every time.
You got me on the first series by like a lot.
Alrighty, heading into... oh, is Trim back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Cool. Alrighty, heading into Heat 2 of Round 7 for the enthusiasts. We got Sour Power. Trim. Crazy Fox. And Jimmy 1. Alright, so Jimmy, Sour Power, and Trim. You guys good to go? Oops. Shoot, that was a misclick. Hey, Fritz, can you give me Race Manager back?
Okay. How do I do that?
Go into the menu for Show Hide Players. There's 3 dudes on the right side. And then on...
Time to learn this track.
And then on...
Yeah, we're on a different track.
What? Oh, because he doesn't...
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, and then click RM on...
There was so much to this course.
There we
It was
go.
actually crazy. There's like too many gates.
Alright, let's try this again.
Yeah, I'm making a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, this one's like way too small gates for a tiny loop.
I feel like I'm going fast, and then I make one mistake, and it's just over.
It was pretty cool. I hit a pylon and ended up in this LED gate with the rings. I think it's a glitch.
The map had gotten changed when I accidentally dropped over Race Manager, and then when I swapped it back to the other one, you must have popped into the other gate.
Are you stuck?
Alright, so let's
No,
try
I'm
this.
good.
Let's try this again. We got Sour Power. We've got Trim. And we've got Jimmy 1. Alright, you three ready to go?
Ready.
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 Alright, pilots.
Oh.
Oops.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
What did you do?
I fixed it, sorry. These three pilots off the line now. Let me take myself out
Whoa,
of the
that was
running
weird.
here. There we go. Now I am spectating. We've got Sour Power out in front of Jimmy 1 and Trim. Jimmy 1 and Trim now at the top of the amalgamation, trying to gain ground on Sour Power. Jimmy 1 making a nice little move up through the ascending carousel for Sour Power. Jimmy 1 hot on his tail through the top of the U-turn. Trim now coming up through the top of the U-turn as well. Sour Power already halfway through the cascade. And that's Sour Power into lap 2 through the ascent. Jimmy 1 now through the bottom of the cascade. Trim hot on his tail. Let's see if Trim can open it up and take that back. Yes, Peep. You are next. I was muted when I said that, though.
Power's on fire.
That's going to be Sour Power out in front coming into the slaloms on lap 3. Jimmy 1 at the bottom of the cascade. Trim hot on his tail as well. We'll start saying hot on their trail since there's not really a tail, but there is a trail. Sour Power now out in front still at the top of the inverted U-turn. Jimmy 1 now through the bottom of the amalgamation. Trim gaining some ground on him through the middle of the amalgamation now. Sour Power finishing out the bottom of the cascade into his finish for lap 3. That's going to be Sour Power taking the point over Trim.
Thank you.
And Jimmy taking the point over Crazy Fox, who couldn't make it. Let's watch Jimmy and Trim finish this out.
I think we'll be done with
That's gonna be
ladders for a little while there, Steven.
Sorry. Say that again.
He said I think we should be done with ladders for a little while.
Yeah, I
we
was.
were probably feeling it.
Yeah, that's enough orbiting for the last 2 tracks. No
It's
more ladders
the
on
fact
the
that
next
they're
one.
triangles. It's throwing everybody off, I think.
Oh man, that's what. How many steps in that ladder? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stages.
And they're at an angle too.
And
All the same direction.
this
Yeah.
stuff is really tough. Yeah.
Not as tough as last week.
Best things I've ever seen in my life, I think.
Yay. I do take a little bit of pride in that, actually,
Yeah.
now that you've said it.
Working device.
IRL version of this.
That'd be fun. Actually, you know what? Next track, I think I'll just lay that little ladder on its side and just fill the whole thing with like a grid of them. And we'll figure out a way to make
Oh,
it
God.
through.
You build your TIE fighter, huh?
Yeah. Okay, so we're on to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Huh. Didn't I say last round was heat? Whatever.
Got the points.
Oh, I'm sorry. I read that out, but I forgot to unmute myself at the time. So, that was a race between Jimmy and Crazy Fox, but Crazy Fox is not here, so Jimmy took the point that time. And Sour Power and Trim, with Sour Power taking it over Trim. And now we are into Peep, Quans, and Bumper for the advanced class here. There's Quans, there's Peep, and there's Bumper. Are you three ready to go? Ignore that. I fat fingered when I pressed S to go into spectator. I got a yes from Quans. Sorry, I just heard a really loud bang outside my apartment or my house.
That's not good.
Alrighty, so into this next heat of racing, we've got Quans, Peep, and Bumper. I know I heard Bumper say he was good to go. Quans and Peep said yes in chat. So, going live now. Let's see who's going to take the whole shot here.
2, 1.
We have Bumper out in front here. I looked down for a second and didn't realize Bumper is out in front. He's racing up against Quans this time. Peep gets to the bye round. Let's see if Bumper's going to be able to keep this lead over Quans. Peep did overtake, which puts Bumper in second place, but he's still in first place over Quans here. Peep FPV out now through the slaloms, hitting the top of the amalgamation. Bumper on lap 2, Peep on lap 2 at the halfway point of the cascade there. Bumper now hitting the top of the cascade, zipping and zooming through the split S, U-turn split S portion. Quans making his way through the bottom of the amalgamation here. Peep over at the ascent hitting the U-turn. He's going to cut through these slaloms nice and tight as Bumper hits the split S into the U-turn to hit the slaloms as well. We know Bumper can open it up through this part, but let's see if 10 gates is going to be too much of a gap for him to close on Peep in lap 3. It might be, but let's see now if Peep can overtake Quans through the bottom of this cascade. Peep a little bit slower, but still nice and tight through the top half of that cascade. He's not going to be able to overtake Quans before he finishes his lap. Peep is going to take it first this time. This was Peep's bye round, so it's not that big of a deal.
In this game,
they don't mean anything.
Sure they do. Look at mine. I'm huge.
what are they?
Like rank 800 or something.
For the night or something, maybe from
No,
all the
it's
other
not.
players.
It's for
You're all
the
coming.
entire event. I mean, the entire.
It's a
year of your
yeah, it's like a game-wide leaderboard.
I think the only reason I've got such a rank higher than everybody else around is because I've been around playing Blockstone longer, maybe.
What is yours?
Well, so I found out the other day that you have to race people who are a higher rank than you to move up in ranking. You can't like
Oh, I
get
do all of
experience.
that.
Huh? What'd you say?
I said I do a lot of that. Everybody's better than me.
Well, numbers wise. Let's stop being so hard on yourself, Slippy. Just 1 second, sorry. I'm going to take a second to thank our sponsors one more time. We have the other guys, Colorado Drone Racing, Remote Control Hobby, Smoky Hill, and CBD Janes. Thank you again to those guys. Check them all out on Facebook. Had to do a sponsor shout out real quick. Moving into the next heat here. Okay, so that was Peep getting his bye round there. So Bumper is going to take the point over Quans. And now we have Fade FPV, Carpenter FPV, MP Miller, and Cameron FPV.
Want to go through that run list again? Who else flying?
No. It's Fade FPV, Carpenter FPV, MP Miller, and Cameron FPV. You 4 pilots good to go?
Ready.
Got a yes from Carpenter.
Yep.
Yep.
Alright, that's 4. Here we go.
1, 4, 3.
Coming up towards the end of the night here. We only have 2 more rounds of racing after this, and we're almost done. Cameron FPV out in front through the whole shot. He's going to keep that lead over Fast Max through the U-turn. See if he can keep it through the slalom. If he's got a nice clean run, he might be able to keep this lead over Fast Max here. Ooh, looks like Fast Max is going to overtake through the bottom of the amalgamation just barely. Cameron FPV now trying to full throttle and catch up. Hopefully he doesn't make an error due to the speed he's trying to put into to gain that ground back on Fast Max. Carpenter FPV out in front of Fade FPV. This is a heat between Fade FPV, Carpenter FPV, MP Miller, and Cameron FPV. So if Cameron FPV is going to take the lead away from Miller for the series,
Jeez, really?
this is going to be the one.
Ah.
Relax, get back on track.
Close the stream, Cameron. Alright, maybe he doesn't have the stream open. That's going to be Fast Max coming around to finish out lap 2. He's on lap 3 now. We're going to go in camera with him as he makes his way around the slaloms up through the top there of the amalgamation. Ooh, he's going to cut right instead of left to hit the tunnel. Let's see if Cameron FPV can take advantage of that and catch back up. It doesn't look like it. MP Miller has about a 20 gate lead on Cameron FPV, so I do not think that he's going to be closing that gap in time unless Max or MP Miller has a huge issue with the Cascade. Unfortunately for Cameron FPV, it does not look like that's the case, and that's going to be Fast Max coming around to finish out with his second fastest lap time, or heat time so far. Cameron FPV now at the top of the Cascade, halfway through. Carpenter FPV overtook Fade FPV in that last lap there, which is going to give him third place.
I really hope that wasn't it. I really hope that wasn't it against Max, because I had in that whole, actually not the whole first lap, but the majority of it.
I don't want to tell him.
But that, I'm guessing that's it, so.
I don't want to tell him.
I was so close.
Dude, I had you for most of that
I
first
don't wanna
lap,
tell
man.
him.
I'm getting close.
You didn't even have your quad.
What?
You didn't even have your quad. Did nobody watch Fast and Furious? I almost had you. I almost had me. Yeah, you didn't even have your car.
Yeah,
No?
God, is that really a line in this?
Yeah, Vin Diesel's a Paul Walker. It's like the first interaction they have after their first race together. He gets out, he's like, oh, I almost had you, man. Vin's like, nah. But yeah, Cameron, that was the one.
That was, it would be At least I made it a good one.
So that's going to be Carpenter FPV taking it over Fade FPV that round, and Miller, or MP Miller, taking it over Cameron FPV. If Peep was in the Discord, I feel like he would have backed me up on that reference.
That's
Let's
because
see if he chats. Did you know that reference?
I
Yeah, I
heard
don't
you
think it was-
turns.
I don't think it was quoted correctly. It doesn't
But no.
sound like.
What do you mean it wasn't quoted? Yes, it was.
I think you paraphrased.
What?
Oh, Peep said he didn't actually hear you.
Winning is winning, isn't it?
Restate it.
Winning is
First
win. A win is a win, but that's not the line I'm talking about.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it doesn't matter how close you're by a quarter mile or a mile.
That's not even
Winning
the
is
line I'm
winning.
talking about. Oh, see, Twitch chat has it.
Yeah, what? Where?
Take a flight's got it. Peep, it's what was it? It was I almost had you. Paul Walker's like, I almost had you after their first race, and then Vin Diesel's like, what? You didn't even have your car, or something like that. But anyways, enough of that. Okuru,
yeah, okay, no, I think I
Okuru,
understand now.
Trim, and Slippy are in this next one.
Ready?
Getting everybody in here. There's Okuru. There's Trim. And there's Slippy.
Woo!
I heard one person say they were ready. Everybody good to go?
I'm ready.
All right. I know I got that reference right. It's a meme. I know my memes. Slippy's going to take the whole shot there. Okuru out in second place. Okuru's going to overtake through the inversion, but Slippy is going to retake that. Okuru opening up the throttle just like he always does, though, through that slalom. We're just going to put him out in front coming into lap 1. The bottom of the amalgamation. Trim now at the top. Okuru coming around up through the bottom of the inverted split S U-turn. Slippy now around the curve into that same obstacle. Okuru halfway through the Cascade. Okuru, one of the only pilots flying acro, also one of the only pilots who chose to take that counterclockwise, how I was doing it originally, as I designed the track. Now we've got Okuru through the slalom again, though. Slippy into the U-turn. Trim making his way through the Cascade there at the back of the track. Okuru still out in front through the bottom of the inverted U-turn. Trim back at the slaloms. Slippy at the bottom of the U-turn. Okuru about to finish out lap 2 here, halfway through the Cascade. Pardon me. Let's go in cam with Okuru. How do I get rid of the crosshair again? It's H. Okay. Not sure why it's H, but it's H. Okuru nice and tight. Oh, looks like he did cut that like a little bit too close on that. It doesn't really cost him too much of the lead. Let's see. Let's check.
It's amazing how far away you can go away from that little track there. And still register.
Earlier I was saying that I had made it very forgiving if you go wide, but I made it so that you can't cut it and cheat that little corner.
Oh.
So that's going to be Okuru out in front here, taking the point over Crazy Fox. So this was his bye round anyways. So that means the real race is between Slippy and Trim here, and it looks like Slippy's going to be out in front of Trim. Nice smooth orbits from Slippy as he makes his way into the side finish. Nice placement, Slippy. I'm going to wait until Trim says it to let him finish, but good race there. Check in with Trim and let him finish out his heat. Looks like we caught him just in time to come across the start finish there. Awesome flying, guys. So that heat, we had a head-to-head between Trim and Slippy. Okuru got a bye because he was supposed to be racing Crazy Fox there. But Trim and Slippy were the head-to-head, which means Slippy's going to take the point over Trim that time. Into the next heat, we have Fritz, Sour Power, Ride, and Crash. Let's get those guys in here.
Yep, ready.
Fritz and Sour Power, you guys good to go?
Good to go.
Alrighty. Cool, cool. So this is the 8th round of flying for the enthusiast class. We have Crash FPV coming through for the whole shot. Crash FPV is the series leader. Sour Power is going to overtake Crash FPV through the ascent, but then Crash is going to take it back from him through the slalom there. Let's see if Sour Power can catch up through the middle of the amalgamation here. Crash FPV making his way through the ascending carousel. Fritz in the middle of the tunnel now. We've seen Fritz come a long way from the beginning heat that he started with tonight when he didn't know the track at all. We've seen Fritz come a long way from the last night, or the last race where he had just started flying the simulator the day before that. Now Sour Power and Crash battling their way through. Looks like Crash is going to overtake back and get that lead, but Sour Power did have it for a split second. And that might be the only chance Sour Power was going to get. We'll have to see Crash make a huge error here if he wants to. Oh, ooh, looks like Crash is going to miss one of the slalom gates. Sour Power might have an opportunity to catch back up. Let's see now. Crash and Sour Power both in the amalgamation at different steps. Sour Power now into the bottom here, trying to gain that ground desperately back over Crash FPV that he had when he was at the Cascade. Crash now heading back to the Cascade. Sour Power heading to the Cascade. Ooh, Crash is going to collide with one of the gates in the Cascade. Sour Power might have an opportunity. Sour Power is going to overtake Crash through the bottom of the Cascade. Keep it tight, Sour Power, and you can get past. This is a heat between Sour Power and Fritz. Ooh, Sour Power is going to collide with the bottom there. Where did Crash end up? Crash is still back at the Cascade there. Sour Power is still back out in front. Still back out in front. That doesn't make any sense. Sour Power now out in front still as he makes his way up to the U-turn split S there. Crash now coming around up through the top here. Fritz on lap 3 heading into the U-turn underneath the ascent here. Sour Power over at the Cascade. Looks like he's going to finish this one with a pretty substantial lead. A little bit of gasp there as he thought he was going to lose it, but he did have a pretty decent lead over Crash that time. That's going to give Sour Power the point over Crash.
Good racing.
It's going to happen to all of us once. It's a rite of passage for being too fast.
Oh, did you miss that too?
Yeah.
Well, at least we're even now.
Fritz
Yeah, I
making
guess
its way
so.
through the cascade. Nice and smooth. Keeping those orbits tight as he chose to go counterclockwise as well. Crash getting in a little bit of a practice lap as Fritz finishes up his race. He's going to collide with that second to last gate, and there he goes.
Good job.
Nice racing, guys. That was a race against Dr. Ride for Crash, so he immediately gets the point. And then Sour Power is going to take the point over Fritz that round. Moving into the advanced class now, we have Peep FPV, Quans, and Bumper. Nope, I'm sorry. Looking at the wrong row again. Peep FPV, Quans, and Fade FPV. Sorry, Bumper.
Bumper, with all due respect.
Sorry.
Ha.
Oh.
Loser.
Hey, be nice. Yellow card.
Hey, I said with all due respect.
All right.
I applied the rules.
I implied there was respect involved. Peep, Quans, and Fade. You guys ready to go?
Ready.
That was a yep from Quans. A yep from
Fade.
Fade. Sorry. I was looking at the wrong name as I said it. Peep. Is that here about this one?
I don't know.
Peep.
Beep, 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 beep.
There he is. Okay.
There we go.
Sorry, I wasn't sure if that last here that you typed in was about this one or the one before. But we're ready to go then. For Heat 1 of round 6 for the advanced class of raping. Ooh, no. Advanced class of racing. My apologies. I was looking at Peep FPV there. We're just going to cut that part out of the VOD after this. That'll be a demonetization for me. Yep, that's Jimmy One leaving. He did not like that. Jimmy, you gotta head out. There's only one more race for Jimmy. So this is a race between Peep and Quans. We do have Peep out in front of Quans with about a 10 gate lead. Fade FPV keeping better pace with Peep. Peep FPV out in front here. Fade FPV still doing a pretty good job of keeping it close enough to Peep that if Peep was to make an error, Fade could overtake. Peep now at the top of the cascade. Let's drop the brightness a little bit so we can get a better idea of what's going on here. Let's go in cam with Peep as he makes his way in through for the last lap here. Ooh, he's going to collide with the bottom there. He's still going to take it though. Let's check in with Fade. He's finishing out his last lap here. Quans coming in nice and smooth now. Good, better times from Quans as to where he was at the beginning of the evening. Nice job, guys. So that was a race between Peep and Quans. That was Fade's bye round. So that means Peep is going to take the point over Quans. Does anybody know if Jimmy usually has to go around this time?
No idea.
Because he's only got one more race, so if he wants to, we can run that real quick. But he just left the Discord, so. Anyways, we'll go ahead and get into the next round here. GG. Let's see. We've got pretty stacked heat this time. Bumper, Cameron FPV, Carpenter, and MP Miller. Carpenter is here. Are those other 3 pilots good to go?
Yes, sir. Where are we dropping?
Where are we dropping? Bumper good? Okay. Sorry, you're just kind of quiet. Let me see if I can turn you up at all, actually. Oh, I still can. Okay, perfect.
200%.
Oh, 150. Alrighty. Into this next round of racing.
4, 3, 2, 1.
We're going to have Fast Max coming through for the whole shot. Cameron FPV just behind him. He's going to collide with the bottom of the ascent there. Give the other 3 pilots a chance to get out ahead. Carpenter FPV in second place now. Cameron FPV is going to overtake Bumper. Bumper, you missed the slalom. Go back. Bumper, the slalom gates. Yeah. Excuse me. My apologies to the stream there. Out in front, we're going to have Fast Max. Cameron FPV in second here. Bumper did miss that slalom
Where
gate.
am I? Okay.
We're just going to give a pretty resounding lead to the other pilots here. I don't know if he's going to be able to catch back up and recover from that one. I tried my best to let him know in time, but I think I screwed up the muting. And I was actually unmuted when I thought I was muted. We've got MP Miller out in front, halfway through the cascade over there. Nice and tight. It's going to be 1:31. That is his fastest time so far, I believe. That's going to be MP Miller taking it over Bumper, who probably didn't have a chance that time since he messed up the slalom gates were a bit of a problem for him there. Doesn't look like he's going to have enough time to gain that ground back over Carpenter FPV, unfortunately. It doesn't matter because he was up against Miller that time anyways. That's going to be Cameron FPV taking it over Carpenter.
Oh no, Bumper was so close.
Carpenter? Oh, never mind.
It's showing us on gate 45 at 47. I'm confused.
There we go. Okay. Did you glitch into the wall there for a second, Carpenter? Oh, his transmitter lost connection.
Do we want to rerun that? He was kind of close behind me in that last lap.
I wouldn't mind rerunning that one, because Bumper had one of those slalom gates at the beginning that he missed,
Alright.
and I tried to let him know in time, but I don't think I messed. I think I messed the muting up. So Carpenter and Bumper, would you guys like a rerun on that one?
Sure.
Okay. It's been messing up in the last few. My battery is dead. Okay, well, we'll run this one again real quick. Here we go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And they're off. Fast Max out the gate through the whole shot here. Bumper, much stronger showing here. Bumper, you missed it again? Okay, you caught it this time. That's going to be a good enough spot for Bumper to catch back up if he gets an opportunity. Max, or MP Miller's still out in front. I don't know that Bumper would have a chance to beat MP Miller if he... not that Bumper's not a good pilot, but Miller just has been just on point tonight and shaving milliseconds off his time, and that's all you can do. His lines are so tight. Cameron FPV now behind him. Carpenter FPV out in front, or in front of Bumper, but Cameron FPV and Carpenter FPV are the two that we are looking for the battle between this time. Got about a three-gate lead from Cameron FPV onto Carpenter. Cameron now out front here. Carpenter FPV making his way through the top of the cascade there. Bumper now at the bottom of the amalgamation. Through the bottom of the U-turn here. Fast Max comes around and goes up through the top. He's going to hit the tunnel in the middle. Fast Max still out in front with a 10-gate lead on Cameron FPV. Let's see if Bumper's going to be able to keep this one here. It doesn't look like it. He's not going to be able to catch up to Carpenter FPV, it doesn't look like. But Fast Max about to finish out his lap. Looks like this might be the same order that we had previously, but at least they got the fair shake. Let's see if Carpenter's radio dies again. Bumper may have a chance to overtake here, but it doesn't look like it, and that's going to be Carpenter coming through. Same order as last time, but at least they got the fair shake. Alright, so it was the same order as last time, but at least everybody got a fair shake that time.
Feel like I'm racing with Spectrum.
Alright, so that was the second to last round of racing. We're heading into the last round of this round robin format for tonight with the Indoor Simulator Racing Series. So I'm going to take a quick second and do a sponsor spot, and then we'll get into it. Thank you so much to tonight's sponsors for the evening. Let's switch over to the screen here so that everybody can see the glorious logos for our three fantastic sponsors. The other guys, Colorado Drone Racing, CBD Janes, and Remote Control Hobby Smoky Hill. All three of these organizations can be found on Facebook. Check out the other guys, Colorado Drone Racing. They host live races around the northern Colorado and Front Range area. Great group of guys. They're more than willing to help out. If you're having build trouble, anything like that, feel free to reach out to anybody in that group. If they can, they'll respond with the fullest extent of their knowledge. Remote Control Hobby Smoky Hill, a RC hobby shop in Aurora, Colorado. Transmitters for the simulator series. They have drones. They have ready to fly Tiny Whoop kits or Tiny Hawk kits. Anything you need to get into the hobby, you can find it at RC Hobbies. And then CBD Janes, a private CBD manufacturer and close friend of Denver Drone Company. Thank you so much again to our sponsors. Check them all out on Facebook.
Wait, okay,
and let's get into
it. What did you say to change in acro mode to make it feel better?
Just lower the D quite a bit. I've got my D down to like 11.
Oh, jeez. All right, so we're heading into the final round of racing for the night. That's going to be for the first race of the enthusiast class. Okuru, Trim, and Ride. Okuru, Trim, and Ride. Let me get you in here. Oh, right. Ride is not here. Wait. Okuru, Trim, Ride, and then Fox. Okay, so neither of those guys are here. Which means that
Double
it's
bye.
just going to be Okuru and Trim.
Ready?
Ready.
Which I have both of them in there, so let's get going.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Did I miss a gate?
My apologies, everybody. So this is a race between Okuru and Trim. Looks like Okuru has a pretty substantial lead on Trim here. We have Crash and Jimmy and Sour Power and Slippy in this next heat. Looks like Crash is going to take that point over Jimmy, as Slipstream did have to go, it looks like, excuse me. Okuru's still out in front here. Possibly about to lap Trim. Trim making his way down through the bottom of the cascade there. Okuru out, again, flying acro with a different model than he normally does, but he's doing a pretty decent job of showing us how to fly acro through this cascade there. That's going to be Okuru out in front. Looks like he's about to finish out his third lap here. Trim coming around to finish out lap 2. I think Trim might have had a bit of an issue with the slalom gates over here. Let's go in camera with him as he finishes out this heat. Nice smooth movements through the bottom of the cascade there. Let's see him hit these slaloms. Could come around the outside like 2 Trailer Park Girls. Hit the middle gate there. He's going to drop down into the tunnel. Cut right. Make his way up the turn there. I think that was Max earlier that was talking about the split S sign. I definitely see what you're talking about. Definitely does not say split S.
It just says S.
S-I-T.
See it. S-I-I-T.
See it. S.
See it.
The first one's just black.
Yeah, this was just black.
Jeez.
There's nothing on it.
Sorry. It's my first track. Don't bully me. Moving into round 2, or heat 2 of round 9 for the enthusiast class, we have Crash, Jimmy, Sour Power, and Slippy. Jimmy did have to head out, it looks like, so we will get...
Is that it for advanced class? I think I gotta take off.
No, you have one more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Max leaves and then I get a free point.
So we got Crash, Sour Power, and Slippy. Peep's internet went out, it looks like. Alright, so Crash, Sour Power, Slippy. Let me get these guys in here. Alright. Are you 3 pilots ready to go? Crash, Power, and Slippy?
Yep. Ready.
Alrighty, here we go, guys. No pressure, this is the last round. Let's see who's going to take the whole shot here between Crash and Sour Power. This is a race between Sour Power and Slippy. It looks like we got a good race between Crash and Sour Power here. Sour Power is going to overtake just a little bit through the slaloms there. Let's see if he can keep it tight enough over Crash. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to do it. Crash is back out in front through the bottom of the amalgamation here. Slippy making his way through the bottom now too. Crash and Sour Power trading spots. Ooh, looks like Sour Power is going to overtake Crash as Crash makes his way around the 2 flags there. Had a little bit of an issue going around them instead of trying to slalom through there. Crash FPV is going to overtake back through the cascade there. Crash definitely has the technicality down, where Sour Power definitely is has the advantage in speed. So in areas like the slalom here, he's going to overtake Crash every time. But then when we get to this the stuff like the amalgamation here, Crash is going to usually gain that lead back through the tightness of his orbits. Does look like Sour Power is far out and above, way in front though. He's got about a 10 lap lead, or 10 gate lead. Sorry, 6 gate lead on Crash here. Slippy now up through the U-turn. Sour Power at the bottom of the Cascade. Crash finishing the top half of the Cascade here. Sour Power now at the second half of lap 3. Or, I'm sorry, the beginning half of lap 3. Crash FPV not too far behind, only 2 gate difference. Looks like Sour Power is going to collide and give Crash an opportunity to keep gaining on that lead. Sour Power through the tunnel, Crash at the top of the amalgamation now. Slippy at the top of the amalgamation as well. Not too far behind these other pilots either. Sour Power coming around. He's going to hit the top of the Cascade here. Let's see if he can keep it smooth through the split S into the orbit, into the other split S. Crash into the split S, treating that as that U-turn as an orbit as well. Sour Power now down through the Cascade. He's going to take that heat over Crash FPV. Crash FPV coming around. He's going to collide with the third to last gate in the Cascade. He's going to do it a couple of times. It's not going to cost him the lead over Slippy though. Slippy is going to come through for third place there. Which means Sour Power.
Good racing, y'all.
Our best all time, or 3 lap times, I think.
Awesome job, guys. Slippy, you were gaining on them the whole time. Alright, so let's let Peep try to get back in here real quick.
Is that it for Enthusiast?
That is the last race of Enthusiast, yes. So to any of the Enthusiast pilots who feel like taking off, thank you so much for coming out and racing tonight. I will make sure to let you know when the next track is posted and live in Velocidrone. I'll make that distinction so that everybody knows that they can get on and practice it.
I just appreciate it.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Everybody's also welcome to hang out, talk, chat, watch the racing. You don't have to go if you don't want to.
Awesome, thanks guys. Hey, how do you get into the building? Where's the entrance?
You have to go out the window and then fly all the way to the edge of the map, and then you go under the map and then all the way back.
That's the edge.
Wait, you talking about getting under the building?
Yeah, you flip into acro and it
I mean, you don't have to go all the way out. You can just go right next to the building and drop underneath it.
The other guys, Colorado Drone Racing, CBD Janes,
Yeah, just hug the
and
floor
RC Hobby Smoky Hill.
Just keep really,
Let's get into the
really
advanced
low
class
throttle
here.
in angle mode.
Let's get into this last race for the the second to last race for the advanced class here. We're gonna have a race between some pilots, and those pilots are Peep FPV, Fade, MP Miller, and Quans. Peep FPV is still trying to get in. So I apologize, I jumped the gun there. We'll actually skip that one until we know if he's going to get back in this time. For now, we're going to run Bumper, Cameron FPV, and Carpenter FPV. Are you guys good to go?
Ready?
Alrighty, that's all 3 pilots letting me know that they are set and ready to go. So we're going to get into this. This is the second to last race of the evening. First race of the last round of advanced class. Here we go. Let's see who takes the whole shot here. Looks like it's going to be Bumper out in front. Cameron FPV overtaking. Looks like Bumper collided with that bottom gate of the ascent again.
What?
Cameron FPV. Oh, definitely did go through the bottom
those
half there.
Freaking slaloms are so annoying.
Bumper now trying to gain ground on Carpenter FPV. Looks like he's doing a pretty good job of it. Ooh, nice and zippy. Oh, he's gonna have a problem with that. It's the third set of 4 in that U-turn. It still is. He's gonna let Cameron FPV overtake. Carpenter FPV out in front now. This is a heat between Bumper and Carpenter. Let's see which one of these pilots. As long as Bumper can keep it nice and clean through these more technical sections, he can absolutely open it up and get out in front. Carpenter FPV now overtaken by Cameron FPV, who's out in front. Bumper now making his way through the slaloms. He does hit them all properly. Gaining ground on Carpenter. Nice and smooth through that bottom half of the amalgamation there. What? Bumper, no. Bumper making a mistake on that last section of the U-turn there. Cameron FPV still out in front here. Let's see, Carpenter FPV's over at the slaloms. Bumper FPV making his way through the, or Bumper FPV, Bumper is making his way through the bottom of the cascade here. Carpenter FPV's probably going to have to give him an error if he wants to catch up. Oh man. Carpenter FPV and Cameron FPV out in front, but Bumper is really just tearing up this, really just tearing up this last lap here. He might catch up to
Actually, ran the Ancient Mariner
through
ending.
this cascade. Might make it happen.
What?
If Carpenter collides with this last one, doesn't look like it. Oh man, that was such a
I
close
just heard
race.
that classic sound where they just
Damn, Bumper. That last lap, dude, you were just tearing it up.
31. I think that's my fastest lap ever on this track.
Jeez. So that was a race between Carpenter FPV and Bumper. Unfortunately, that was the bye round for Cameron FPV. So Bumper is going to lose out on the point to Carpenter FPV in that heat.
Good
Let's
job,
see.
guys.
Did we get Pete back in here?
Not yet.
Pete?
Alright, so Han, Steven, that was my final race for the evening then?
That was, yes.
Alright, I do appreciate everyone. Good flying to everyone around. Everyone's getting a lot better. I can definitely see it in everyone. Especially you, Bumper, in acro mode. Jeez, man.
Oh, thanks, Cam.
Cruising.
We'll see you soon.
See you soon, man.
See you soon.
Later, Cam. Go do your paper.
Later, guys.
You just had like flashbacks.
Cameron FPV left the session. I don't know if we're going to get Pete back in here. Not seeing him online.
Is he on Discord or no?
No. And he said his internet went out and that's why he got cut. Thank you, Carpenter. That was good flying, man. So... Alright, well... Let me set up the next heat without Peep, and then if he manages to find his way back in here... Oh.
Nope, that was Carpenter.
Nope, that was Carpenter heading out. Alright, well, we've got Fade, MP Miller, and Quans. Nothing. Dang. Alright, well, we'll go ahead and run this heat. As long as those three pilots are ready. Quans, MP Miller, and Fade, you guys good to go?
Yep, ready.
Quans, you good? Yep, cool. Alrighty. Here we go into the last race for the evening of the indoor simulator racing series.
I just understood that.
Yeah, because we're stuck inside and it's whoop racing. Fast Max still out in front here. Quan's in second. We got Fade in third. Quan's and
You
Fade
could have
battling
taken
the
that a
win.
little tighter there, Max.
Sorry.
Let's go in Cam with MP Miller here.
Was that an error?
Yep.
Man, this kid is just insane. Oh. Man. MP Miller's still far out and away from Quans, who is his rival for this heat. It's like Fade is automatically going to take the point over Peep FEV this time. But it looks like Miller is going to take it over Quans. Miller already almost done with his last lap here, heading up to the Cascade.
Ooh, another error from Max. I can say I've seen one.
Everybody's got like a little notepad keeping track.
At 9:06 on 4:28.
Good job,
Max
Max.
went left instead of right.
Confirmed, he is not a robot.
I was gonna say, Max, if they ever come to you, if DJI ever comes to you and wants you to help them program their drones,
Yeah. So we've got Fade, who overtook Quans through that last
Max
Cascade.
can freestyle too.
Yeah. It needs to acro mode bumper. Watch out. Here, let me try to track in acro mode. Watch this bumper.
too slow.
Awesome flying from these pilots tonight, guys. Thank you again to our sponsors one last time for the
He's not
evening.
so slow. Oh, yeah, okay.
The other guys, Colorado Drone Racing, CBD Janes,
I'd give him like 15
and
minutes
RC
and
Hobby
he could
Smoky
smoke
Hill.
all of us in acro mode.
Way faster.
I
Fred,
don't
you are, Max. I got to that conclusion you got to way faster. I crashed on my face way before you did.
Good job, guys. I'll see you Friday.
See you bumper.
Good racing tonight, everybody.
Thanks,
See
Steven.
you guys Friday. Nice flying.
Take care, Fred.
Peep, yeah. Yeah, Peep, we had just run it.
Oh, Peep's here.
Yeah. Peep and Fade want to run one real quick, since that was the matchup from that last one.
Sure.
Alright, Peep, get in here.
Make sure I'm not in acro this time.
Yeah.
Coming. Everywhere. Excuse me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Are you
Alright.
stable there, Jay?
Steven, you're getting really smooth at running the races through Velocity Run, brother.
Trying. I'm gonna have to switch it up here too soon because we're gonna be using Hydra.
You have to run Hydra, or is somebody going to do that for you?
I'll probably do it. Just have the iPad sitting next to me because I think it's gonna be a little bit different since it's Velocidrone. I won't really have to worry about like the timing and everything of it. I'll just kind of have to assign points to each pilot at the end of the heat, which is already kind of what I do in the Google Sheets here.
Okay. I'm ready whenever.
Alrighty, here we go. Everybody gets to fly because there's only 5 of you in here right now.
I'm out.
Yeah, that's my setting.
Peep FEV out in front of Fade this time. Fade still gets to keep the points since Peep had the issues, but we'll at least let them run the race. Thank you again so much to Streamland. I appreciate everybody who came and hung out for the stream. Take Flight, thank you so much. MB Farmer, thank you so much. We appreciate everybody who's watching, even if you don't feel like participating in the chat. Thank you so much for coming out and supporting the stream with the viewer count. I am Steven D'Agostino, 43D3D3 with Denver Drone Company for the Indoor Simulator Racing Series. Sponsored by the other guys, Colorado Drone Racing, Remote Control Hobby Smoky Hill, and CBD Janes. Let these pilots finish out this race here, and then I'll call it on the stream. Anybody watching, keep an eye out for when we start running Hydra. You'll be able to place the pilots in order of who you think will win each heat and win points on the Hydra FPV app, available on the Google Play and Apple App Store. Here comes Peep at the top of the Cascade around. Through the top half here, he's going to finish out strong. Out in front of Fade, who's making his way to the bottom of the amalgamation. FPV Fritz in third and Trim just behind them. That's going to be Peep taking that one over. Fade FPV. Nice flying. Nice flying, Peep.
Oh man, that's smooth.
Thanks. I think that was about the same as my best of the night. Thanks for letting me run that, Fade.
Oh, you bet.
It was nice of you. Yeah, my internet's been dropping out at least once a day.
Man.
Is it at the same time? Do you at least can you at least plan around it?
It's kind of moved around a little bit, but it's always like after 7 at some point. And I think it's just overload.
Yeah.
From so many people being online.
I was gonna say everybody finishing up dinner and their chores after work and
yeah, and we have this little company called TDS that does our internet. Like we have 300 meg down, but I don't think their backend's like really that good to support that many people.
Yeah. So that is Fritz coming around to finish out in third, which means Trim is going to be finished up in 4th place here.
Dude, Max was smashing times tonight.
Yeah, when I spectated him, it was like the camera was on the edge of one of his motors or something. Like I couldn't really see where he was going. I'm like, what am I seeing? I don't know.
Weird.
Were you guys seeing that? If you spec him or?
No.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. It's like how is he seeing anything?
There were a couple of times where I was watching him go through the U-turn up there after that raised carousel type of deal, and he was going through it at an angle. So he was pitching forward and rolling a little bit. So one of his motors was it looked like a plus quad. So I know what you're talking about, but yeah, it was just going real fast sideways.
I couldn't even see the gates. I'm like, where is he flying? I couldn't see the gates. I'm just seeing him spinning around. Like, what the heck am I watching?
Can you not for us to actually race, but can you start one real quick? Because I think there's a couple spots that you can cut really tight, which I wasn't trying because I was trying to follow the course the way it's laid out.
Yeah.
But I think, let me see, because I need the gate indicators to progress. But
yeah, tell us.
Through the, can't I just fly over these? Yeah, you can just fly over the slot.
Yeah, I was keeping
there for sure.
Yeah, I was keeping an eye on
so
that.
You
There
don't
was
even
one
have
point.
To go left and right.
Yeah, I was keeping an eye on that part. There was one point where I called crash out on it.
Oh yeah, did you call someone out for it?
Yeah.
And then I think the other one would be these green, the up gates. You
Well,
can
you
go
can't-
almost inside of them. Oh.
Yeah, I made sure on those ones you couldn't cut it too tight on those. You can cut wider, but
So
if
you
you
can,
try
yeah,
to take
you can go
one.
You can go on the edge of them instead of the middle
Yeah.
of them, I guess.
yeah.
But then other than that,
There's actually a couple of triangles where I've gone through the lower triangle, or tried to, and accidentally went over the bar through the upper triangle and still got the trigger.
yeah, I don't think
Close
those
to the
zones are
triangle.
actually triangle or shaped.
Yeah, I was gonna say that'd be damn near impossible to do.
I think they're yeah, the geometry is a little funky on them. So because I missed a couple too before I'd bump into it, and it would still count, which actually still messes you up because you're thinking you need to go back for it.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to go back for it. Yeah,
And
alright.
the
Well, I
last
just wanted to
cheat
see
that I
on
could think
those
of was
slaloms.
also, it's not even really a cheat.
Thank you so much again to the stream. I appreciate everybody for stopping by. Thank you so much. I am Steven D'Agostino, 43D3D3, signing off for Denver Drone Company and the Indoor